Hey everybody, welcome. This is No Bones About Wrestling. Hey, I'm one of your hosts, Asa, and thanks for joining us. We're watching WCW Starrcade 1990 tonight. This new guy here is Juice Springsteen. I met him I forget, one of us said something about WCW on Twitter, and then we kind of started talking that way about just doing some WCW stuff. So here he is, and hopefully we'll have a good time. I
Yeah.
feel like he knows more about this event than I do. So do you want to kind of give us a? Oh, and folks, we're going to start the show in just a couple minutes. Just to let you know where to go. Go to Peacock, WWE section, WCW section, Starcade, and then watching 1990. But yeah, Juice, do you want to just give us kind of a your overview of what we're going to see tonight?
Yeah, man. So first of all, appreciate you having me on. We definitely
Yeah.
have gone back and forth talking about trying to get something in the works, and I'm glad that we finally got this together to put this together. So, I mean, look, I am a huge WCW guy, and I grew up on it, and it's probably my favorite promotion. I pride myself on really like being one of the guys that holds down as much of the history and the lore and the preservation of what this company was. So that's me. So if anytime anybody wants to talk WCW and really wants to get to know more from someone who did watch, I mean, I was younger when I watched it, but going back and realizing it all, it's just my favorite company, and it's wonderful to revisit some of the stuff like this. So this show in particular, couple of little things I'd like to note. This show was so little background on me. I'm 31. I'm going to be 32 in January. But this show in particular, and I'll show you here. I grew up where we had cable, but my parents would record some of the pay-per-views if we got them, but that was in the later 90s. However, I was perusing the VHS tapes at my grandma's house one day, and I saw a tape that just said house on it. And I was like, that's bizarre. Maybe there's some home movies I haven't seen from my dad or something.
Mhm.
And because my dad's the resident wrestling fan, he got me into it, took me to Nitro. That's how it all
Nice.
began. And lo and behold, I popped the tape in. It was Starcade 90. And I was like, what the hell's going on? So here's the actual tape. I made sure I got the tape.
There we
It
go.
did say house,
Nice.
but I scratched it
Ah,
out and put Starcade 90 on there, although someone
nice.
else wrote it because they put one R in there. But I have seen this show numerous times based on it was like one of the only shows I had access to back in the day. We
Mhm.
didn't have Peacock or really the internet to fetch it out. So
Yeah.
I love this show, everything about it. I told you in our chat about it, all these different pieces that I enjoy. So I can't wait to dive in with you and discuss it.
And just yeah, man, cool. I'm glad you're here. And yeah, I love. I think a lot of us have maybe older guys like us, and I think most of the people that watch our show are like 28 and over. We
Yeah,
got a lot of like
that's fair.
30 to 50-year-olds. Because I was talking about old stuff, and we don't do a lot of like in your face YouTube stuff and stuff like that.
Right,
We're
right.
pretty laid back.
I almost prefer that. It's
Yeah.
way
Oh yeah.
easier to digest information when it's coming to you casually instead of maniacally.
I agree. But yeah, I think a lot of us have those old shows, and that's what people don't realize, right? I mean, WWE Network is a fucking blessing. All this
Oh,
stuff right at our fingertips. It's amazing, and it seems to be going away. I hope not, but we'll see. But my point is, back in the day, yeah, you had to either go and rent the tape from Blockbuster or wherever, and
yeah,
hope something good was there, or yeah, maybe you had one or two events on tape, and that's the way I was. I have like two or three shows that I know like backwards and forwards because I've seen them like 50 times.
yeah.
um, but yeah, that's how it was. So we get these kind of um connections to these just random shows. You know what I mean? Because like this, because that's what you had.
You never know. Yeah. The other
Yeah.
one I had, I vividly remember was Clash of the Champions 17, which is from 91. It
Hmm.
has the Sting and Rick Rude through line where like Sting's hurt. He's got to get back to the building to have the match. And it also has Ricky Steamboat coming back to WCW, which
That's
I mean, I probably watched that 50 plus times, like you said, but I never knew, like when I first watched it, I didn't realize not only was he just in WWE, but he was in WCW, NWA right before that. Like I had no idea the quick 3-year run there leading to that. And man, just the shows that, like you said, you only have so much to watch. And the WWE Network, what, 10 years ago now, came in and it swept us off. I don't know if you remember WWE 24/7 on demand. You remember they had that?
Yes.
Yeah, that was they'd put on one pay-per-view in the one section called Big Ones, and it would only be there for the month, and then it would be gone. So you had to like record it and maybe watch it again, or you'd never see it again. So with this maybe going to Peacock and then now maybe going away, who knows if it's going to be on Netflix? Support physical media, do what you got to do, and watch these shows now.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about before we came on live. Hey, Hussein, how's it going? Yeah, happy 30th to the PlayStation, home of SmackDown 1 and 2, and a bunch of the other SmackDown games that people like. Just Bring It, Here Comes the Pain. Those are fun. Happy holidays to you, yeah, man. I forgot. Oh, wait, yeah. What we were talking about before we came on was, the reason we're doing this specifically tonight is I'm trying to cram in as much WCW content as I can before it maybe goes away. And that's what I was telling Juice is that, I'm just going to have my phone and put on pay-per-views and record as much shit as I can. So
yeah, you got to do what you got to do. It feel like a bootlegger, don't you?
Yeah. It's like the old days. Yeah, with like a double VCR or something,
I mean, look, I was recording songs off the radio with a tape recorder.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So whatever it took, man, I got to get the content.
The old ones of us remember that. Yeah, you just had to wait beside the radio with like one of those with the handle and like one
and just
speaker,
hope they played the song you wanted.
Yeah, and then be fast with it. Play and record button. Yeah. The old days of all that was just so much more fun to me. But as you said, we didn't have WWE Network. We don't. I mean, a lot of people don't realize how blessed we are with it. And I'm not exaggerating. I mean, just this is if you're a wrestling fan and you don't go back and watch some of this old stuff, do it. Go back. Just pick a random. Go to WCCW or Jim Crockett Promotions or
there's a ton.
USWA. Yeah, just go watch some of this stuff. I mean, it's it's history. And it's always like kind of like a pop culture time capsule,
Yes, for sure. And we'll see. You'll see a lot of interesting fashion here. You'll see a lot of. I'm not sure if the Southern boys are on this show because their gear is a little interesting for the time. But yeah, you just never know. Like I said before, when it goes away, I brought this up. I've heard it on other shows before, but it's funny that like now there's really no such thing as nostalgia like being created because we always have it. Back in the day, you either had to see it live, record it, and have the knowledge to record it, have a VCR, and like have it all ready to do it, and that was it. Like if you wanted to watch an episode of a TV show, you had to either record it then or whatever. If it never was in syndication, that was it. Now, all we do is bingeable. Every show comes out and it's 24 episodes. You can watch them all at once. There's no like wanting or craving what we didn't have. We always have it now. So to your point, it's only been 10 years of the network / Peacock. And I feel like it's only been this much. Like it's only been so little time where people can get this stuff, but having access to it for the first time, I'm sure is exciting for a lot of fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, like you said, and I haven't watched it as much as I should. I've watched it a lot. Don't get me wrong, but I haven't watched it as much as I should have. But yeah, I just hope it doesn't go away. That's I might literally cry. I love wrestling. I really love older wrestling. And just that's gonna be a bummer if it goes away. But whatever, let's enjoy it. It's here now. We'll enjoy it tonight. I'm going to give folks just one more minute, whether you're live with us, whether you're watching this after the fact, because most of the viewers actually end up watching this after the live broadcast.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, you can sync up with us in just a minute here. We're going to start the show. So again, go to Peacock, WWF section, WCW section, Starrcade, and then we're watching 1990. I'm going to go and we'll do a little countdown. And then we'll come back on, and then I will tell you folks when to start. So here we go. right. So hopefully you got your shit together during that 30 seconds. So what you want to do is like start it and then press real quick, press rewind, pause, or start it and press pause real quick. I mean, get it at triple zeros. So we're all in the same at the same place here. So we're gonna start. Hopefully you got it up. If you haven't, or if you end up having problems throughout the show, I'll say, okay, we're at 10 minutes, we're at 9 minutes, whatever. So if you get off, you can get back with us. But yeah, that's it. And folk, guys and gals, feel free, of course, talk to us during the show and all that. And
Your audio's going out again, Asa.
God, is it
No,
back
you're good
now?
now. You're good.
Okay.
It's only when you come back in is when I start hearing it. And the previous, up until that countdown, you were
Yeah,
flawless. Nothing cut out one time.
yeah. Well, I hope it's not my new phone. We'll see. I'll do some tests tomorrow or tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, so okay, we're gonna start. I'm gonna go from 5. Juice, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. I got my
Okay.
play button ready to roll.
All right. I'm gonna go. All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. All right. Oh, and when Kay gets her here, don't tell her who the Black Scorpion is. She doesn't know, and I've
Oh,
not told her.
perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect. That'll be fun.
She's never seen this show, but she's seen some WCW.
Oh man, the Kiel Auditorium. Look at that building.
Nice. Yeah, pretty. We got Jim Ross. That's cool.
Yeah, I like the stage. The stars are pretty
Oh,
subtle.
yeah.
And did you
Oh,
ever
yeah.
notice how the WCW is slanted? I think that was on purpose, but it's a weird on purpose choice. You'll see it.
I see now. Yeah, I know. I just saw it. This show I've seen before. I know, but it's been a while. It's been years. Like,
Yeah.
oh, and Paulie Dangerously. We got.
Oh, young Polly.
Yeah, I can tell you literally the only thing I remember about this show, seriously, is the main event. So.
Okay. Well, man, this first match, when we
Fun.
eventually get to it, I think there might be some hodgepodge of nothing with the tag tournament to start. I think they do like they walk out and like show the teams unless that's before the tournament.
That's
But
cool.
when we get to the first actual match, that's my favorite match, probably the whole thing.
Is it Tom Zink? Am I misremembering?
Yeah, Tom Zink versus beautiful Bobby.
Nice.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But yeah, and
I am perfectly in sync with you right now. I kept pausing. I was a little ahead of you, and I heard your audio. I am perfectly in sync with you right now.
Nice. And yeah, as Juice just mentioned, they have they're doing the Pat O'Connor Memorial Tag Team Tournament here. Which 8 teams? Is that correct? There's 4.
Yeah, I think there's 8 teams, and they do the whole damn thing in the show, and
Yeah.
I found it fascinating. I looked at this a couple of years ago. It's like 89. They've got Starrcade 89 has the Iron. Is it Iron Man or what is it called?
Iron Man. Yep.
Is it Iron
That's
Man?
what they called it. Yeah.
So they had that as like a gimmick, right? Then they have this tournament gimmick. 91 and 92, they have Battle Bowl.
Yeah.
So for like a 4-year span, their biggest show has some bizarre thing they're trying to insert into it all. So I don't know. It is what it is. But I'm a fan of Battle Bowl objectively, and I don't know. I kind of like this tournament when the Steiners are in it, so I'm here for that. Anytime they get to throw some people around, that's what I'm here for. So.
Oh yeah, they're great. I don't remember. Does the winner just get a big trophy?
Yeah, big
Okay.
trophy. Yep.
That's cool. That's good enough. But yeah, so Juice was kind of talking about Starrcade and what it's been and or what it was rather. And so if you don't know, just real quick, it started in 1983, and the first 5 years were in the historic Greensboro Coliseum in North Carolina, and it was a Thanksgiving Day show, and then eventually WWF started counter programming it with Survivor Series.
Sons of bitches.
But Starrcade essentially was WWF, or excuse me, it was WCW's WrestleMania. Wasn't as big a show as WrestleMania became, obviously, but that's what it was for them. It was kind of the year, literally ended the year for them. and kind of tied up some feuds. Um, but yeah, so there's a little more showmanship than WCW usually put into things
Yeah.
back then. They didn't have a huge budget in the early '90s here, late '80s.
Look at that printer paper sign. That is really dating the show.
Yeah, that's awesome. Dot matrix printer stuff.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You say Greensboro Coliseum, and I didn't know how far ahead in the Starrcade realm we wanted to get, but whenever they redid it for the house show in 2017,
Yeah.
I don't live in Greensboro. I live in Pennsylvania, and I saw that they were doing that show, and I was like, "Oh, they're naming it Starrcade, and it's Thanksgiving weekend. That's really cool."
Oh.
I could not believe my dad's brother was getting married that day in North Carolina, and I was like, "We gotta go." So we were down there, went to the wedding, left the wedding, went to the reception, and we pieced out and we went to the Coliseum and we caught the show. And the Greensboro Coliseum, probably one of the more legendary buildings, I would say, in professional wrestling. So I'm glad that they got to do that as like a, throwback to the past. And we've been talking about Peacock and everything. I know that 2018 and 2019, they did Starrcade house shows as well. And I'm pretty sure at least one of them was on Peacock or live from there. But the 2017 one that I was at has never been aired. So I really want them to put that out there somewhere sometime. But who knows? We'll ever get it.
Yeah, I remember I got excited just them using the Starrcade name. It didn't live up to my expectations, whichever year I saw. I don't remember.
Yeah. But it was never probably going to live up, But I like that NXT's got Halloween Havoc. Use the brand if you have it. Oh man,
what'd you say? Sorry.
Oh, I said use it if you have it. Like if you got the IP,
definitely.
Why not use it? Like make it something. Hometown, the dark side for Bobby Eaton. Where the hell is that?
Formerly Huntsville, Alabama. Okay.
Oh man. Beautiful Bobby. I mean, yeah. So me being where I am in age in certain things, like I know Beautiful Bobby as the singles wrestler. I was not as familiar with the Midnight Express, but whenever you go, like when people talk about Hulk Hogan with me, I know Hulk Hogan from the NWO. I grew up with bad guy Hulk Hogan and had to like retroactively learn, oh, he red and yellow. He was the biggest star ever. Like, so it's interesting where you are born and grow up what you know. So Beautiful Bobby, I'm just like, yeah, singles wrestler.
So when did you start watching wrestling? Like what year? Do you remember?
I can remember stuff from probably 4 or 5, but I was at the Nitro where Kevin Nash re-debuted June 10th, 96. I was there. Wow. I was 3 years old with my dad.
That's crazy.
Yeah, whenever Jim Duggan comes out for his match against Dave Taylor, they cut to my dad holding me in the like the 3rd or 4th row or whatever. It was in Wheeling, West Virginia.
All right.
So went to that show, and I think we went to a couple house shows throughout. I got a picture with Goldberg back in the day.
Wow, nice.
Like during that run, it was like his van pulling up and my dad like holding me up, like as he pulled up. But yeah, like I can recall. Probably the thing I can recall earliest for sure would be like Road Wild, like 98 maybe, only because I remember them. They pushed, I want to say it was Travis Tritt in concert for that.
Yep. It was.
But it was an August show, so like no school, and it was nice. It was on a Saturday. It was like a weird time to have a show, and it was like the end of the summer for me. So I remember that stuff and like always loving Saturday shows, and it's cool that WWE and AEW do a lot of pay-per-views on Saturdays now, and I don't know, man. I was a fan for probably 7 or 8 years, and then like literally up until I was 8, and then WCW folded. I watched WrestleMania 17, and it probably was like the last show I really, really watched. And I also had on tape, so I watched that a million times. Go figure, it's like the greatest of all time. And for 4 years, I didn't really watch. I don't know what was happening. That's me too.
Like that was the show where I pretty much stopped, was WrestleMania 17. Yeah.
And I got back into it as a youth that was kind of getting into things. I love the John Cena rap album. I was all in on John Cena when he first came in, and WrestleMania 21 was that first show back. And I never looked back. I've been watching it pretty regularly since. So
Nice.
that's it for me. But
And WCW, that's where I started to. 1993, Cactus
Oh, yeah.
Jack, and the he lost his memory angle.
Lost in Cleveland.
Yeah, Lost in Cleveland. That's the first thing I ever saw. And I was
Wow.
like, what in the world is this? What's going on here? And then I think the second thing I ever saw was Vader wrestling someone. And then I was hooked. I was hooked.
Absolutely.
So K Fabulous, Juice Springsteen.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Kay. How's it going?
Okay.
Sorry for being late. I didn't feel as I was sleeping, but I was too excited to miss this, you know?
It's like Christmas morning.
Yeah, it was like Christmas morning. I was laying in bed and I was like, wait, this is the one what you told me Sting is wrestling a mystery wrestler.
The Black Scorpion.
The Black Scorpion.
Correct.
And I didn't want to miss out on finding out who that is.
Oh. And yeah, if you're in the chat, if you're in the room, please don't spoil it for Kay who the Black Scorpion is. Because I have not spoiled it. Yeah.
No spoilers here.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, here we
Is
go.
that a nasty boy shirt you came in with?
It is a nasty boy shirt, yeah.
Hell yeah. Let's
Same
go.
thing. Yeah, I was like so proud of this nasty boy shirt. Originally, Asa ordered it for himself, but he thought it wasn't nasty boyish enough. And I was like, well, it's more nasty boyish than anything else I own. So I took it. And then this year he bought a superior nasty boy shirt that like puts mine just to shame.
Like it looks just
It looks
the exact same
Yeah.
as their tops, you know,
The
the
original
splatter
one?
paint.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
man.
I love them.
Nasty Boys are, I think, very underrated. I don't know why they're not in the Hall of Fame yet, but I think
I
they will
agree.
be.
I agree. Oh, so good at whether they were faces or heels, they were always good at it.
Their gimmick was being nasty, like fighting. That's all they did was fight, and that they didn't stray away from that. So I'm a big fan.
Tough and nasty.
Do you think they're the only like
So here we go.
the only group in a big wrestling promotion that used a pumpkin during a match as a legal weapon?
Oh man,
The only one I remember, they pile drove someone through it.
Yeah,
I don't remember who.
Okay.
It was at Havoc '94. I just did a watch along for that actually. I don't know who
Cool.
it might have been Dave Sullivan. I don't know who it was, or it might have been Kevin Sullivan in the match.
I think it was a Sullivan. That's what I was saying. I just couldn't remember which one.
I might be mistaken.
Jack and Kevin Sullivan, or
no, Cactus
Oh,
was out by then. But I'm also thinking of
oh right.
later in the year, Dave Sullivan, who's dressed up as Santa, and he gets pile driven by Kevin, and they're like, he just hit a pile driver on Santa Claus. It's like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, so we got Bobby Eaton and Tom Zink, the Z-Man, in there.
Oh man, it's anytime like I do these shows or like watch these shows back, it sucks, but it's like the only guy alive in there is the referee. Bobby Eaton has since passed. The Z-Man has since passed. You know, I mean, luckily though, this is 90, so it is kind of almost 40 years
A while
removed.
ago,
But
yeah.
but Nick Patrick, does he still referee? Is he just kind of behind the scenes somewhere? I don't know what he's doing.
He doesn't referee anywhere I know about.
Yeah, I don't know.
You might do like TNA or something. We don't watch that.
Oh, did he? Oh,
No, I'm saying he
I don't
might.
oh, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know where he is. NWO for life, so he's technically still in the NWO though.
That's right. I noticed Beautiful Bobby and Z-Man came with the green to support me here on this show. Because look at his trunks. Unbelievable. Unplanned for sure.
I tell you what, and this is probably off the mark. I don't know, but what I kept thinking of for some reason related to you, and I know green's your color. I've seen it a little here and there, but then I hear the word juice, and I always think of Ecto Cooler.
I see. Yeah.
That's what it always brings. Juice, green, Ecto Cooler. That's what comes to my mind. Yeah.
It's also funny because Juventud Guerrera started calling himself the Juice later on when he was trying to be like The Rock. So I don't know if he has that trademark anymore.
Oh, he was supposed to be at WrestleCade. I didn't look for him.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah, we got back from WrestleCade.
I saw that. I was pretty jealous. You got to meet Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
Is that the new Halloween Havoc shirt, by the way, that they just released? that you had on?
It's a new retro shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, like the newest one. Yeah. I think it's pretty cool. There was that one, and then they had another one that had two combined like designs of Halloween Havoc. But the one you had was more traditional, just the straight up look. I like that one.
Oh,
but
yeah.
man, you guys met Sting, Rodman, like I said. Who else did you meet down there? Maybe I missed Juice Robinson.
Yeah.
She met Juice and Darby Allin and Tony Storm.
Oh man.
And I met Sting and Rodman. We all met Lex Luger, Jake the Snake.
Oh, yeah. I got to meet Lex Luger. That was wonderful.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
Mick Foley.
Papa Shango.
Oh my God. Yeah, what is WrestleCade? They really bring out a lot of talent for that.
It was wild. Like,
I would definitely recommend checking it out. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Even if you don't do like the autograph photo route, because it can get like crazy, stupid expensive, just like walking around the room and being like, oh my God, I'm just surrounded by wrestlers I've seen on TV like over and over again for however many years. It was very cool.
I shook Magnum TA's hand, but I did not take a picture with him. I just wanted to talk to him and be like, man, you were awesome, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool though. I mean, yeah, like I said with Eaton and Zinc, it's still crazy. Like even with those that have passed, it's almost more wild to see who's still alive. To me, the fact that Flair and Hogan, of all the guys, are still alive, they've been doing it forever.
Yeah.
And they still are, they're not only still out, but they're still like promoting things and still doing stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how they have that that energy well into their 70s.
Dude, I don't
still have that.
Yeah, I'm 40. I don't have any fucking energy to do anything. I tell you.
I
think I need to see the doctor.
We also don't have a giant paycheck to motivate us.
That's
true.
We
and
do have some
endorsements and
we have some Nick Patrick news here. So Matt Presto, thanks for joining us. Says in 2021, Nick Patrick revived Deep South Wrestling, which his dad once ran. That's the last career update per wiki.
Oh,
thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. So now we know. Deep South Wrestling, never heard of it.
So Bobby Eaton hit the Alabama Jam earlier, but did not get the pin. He ends up getting it right after a miss here. Which look at that, the flying nothing. I don't know if that it looked like a normal drop kick, but hits him with the small package, and that's all she wrote. I think this is, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is Paul E's first commentary venture.
I don't know.
I'm going to look into that right now.
When I hear about him in WCW, I definitely don't think 1991, you know. So it may very well be, or excuse me, 1990. Excuse me.
Well, right, but I mean, this is right at the tail end. But here's Popeye the Sailor himself. Wait till you see what he's wearing in the main event as the referee.
Dick the Bruiser, some name.
Yeah, quite the name. And his voice is nuts too, as you can tell.
Yeah.
I've never lost a cage match. I know one thing that's going to go on.
His face looks like it's made of leather.
Yeah.
Like well-worn leather. I love it.
Well, get a fair shake. I'll make sure there's a winner, and I'll see it and swear.
I see the Popeye, the Sailor Man. Yeah.
I wish more wrestlers talked like that still. I really enjoy like listening to promos that way.
Yeah, when everybody was just tough. Yeah. I hear you.
Like we have the Outrunners doing that still with like their voices, but I think that might be it as far as like AW.
For like nostalgia, throwback stuff, for sure, yeah.
So here, this is the start of the Pat O'Connor Memorial Tag Team Tournament. That's a big trophy. So it's 8 tag teams, and as Juice was saying, they do the whole thing tonight. There's 14 total matches, so we got 13 left, including 7 in the tournament.
I love the idea of doing like a whole tournament in one night.
Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, like the old King of the Ring.
Yeah. Oh, King of the Ring used to be my second favorite event after WrestleMania in WWF at least. Yeah, I loved doing the whole tournament in one night. It was so cool.
Oh yeah, I don't know. You get so many storylines within it. Like you don't need to just have. Oh, like we have to have only 4 matches because we have stories in the rest of the thing. Like I like a whole show dedicated to the story is, can this guy win 3 matches in one night?
Right. Yep.
Not that hard to make that a story.
Mm-hmm. We had Brett win in '93, which was maybe the best tournament.
Yeah, that match, him and Mr. Perfect, I've probably seen that match 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm. And then Owen in '94.
Yep.
Which was awesome. Kind of felt like it came out of nowhere when I was watching it back then. And then
Oh, I'm
Mabel
sure.
in '95, which did fucking come out of nowhere.
That was
Lord.
out of nowhere, as a matter of fact. That was pretty crazy, but
I'm still shocked about that one. That was 30 years ago. I still can't believe it. It is weird, like you're saying, all this been, 35 years ago. It's like I think the first thing that comes to my head was like, oh, it's 15 years ago.
right, isn't that crazy? Because you
Yeah.
remember when it was 15
Yeah.
years ago, and you're like, oh, that wasn't that long ago. And it's like, no. 15 years ago was Cena and Orton.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's wild. Time will mess with it, dude. It's okay. Do you know any of the matches?
I only know that one side of the main event.
We got Sting versus the Black Scorpion. There is this tag tournament. We got Lex Luger versus Stan Hansen in a Texas Lariat match for the United States title.
Do I know Stan Hansen?
I don't think you've seen it much, no.
Wow, you're in for a treat. If you like chewing tobacco, you'll love Stan Hansen.
He was a big deal in Japan.
All right.
He was a bigger deal there than here, I think. Those
Him
are the only
and
matches I remember. I tried not to spoil it for myself. I know what happens in the
it's
main
good to not
event.
spoil it. You want to be able to go into it kind of fresh,
Oh, yeah. I know what happens in the main event and the U.S. title match. Everything else, I don't know. So, yeah, looking forward to finding it out. Oh, wait, this is the show Conan and Rey Mysterio are on, right?
Rey Mysterio, his dad. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it is Conan for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio Jr. didn't get involved until Great American Bash 96. I think something like that.
It's amazing to hear someone else talk. They can pull these random WCW facts with dates off the top of their head. Very impressive.
Yeah, we end up going. I mean, we obviously don't cover them anymore because you can't. But I end up going on WCW tangents every now and again. Yeah. We do AEW and we just started doing WWE again. But
your mic's cutting out again, by the way.
I didn't hear it when I was listening.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Can you hear me now?
It's funny. So I can hear you now, and I can only hear Kay because it's coming through yours. So because her mic is muted on her specific thing, but but it was funny because I'm waiting to hear it through that, and then you were muted the whole time. So it's his mic's been going in and out as we've tried this. So
I was watching the stream before I came downstairs, and when viewing it, I don't hear it going in and out.
Okay.
When I was
that's good at least.
Yeah, I mean, I just might have been watching for the brief part where it wasn't happening.
Before we went to the countdown, it was flawless, and then it's been every now and again, and it's as soon as I say I can't hear you, the first thing he says I can hear. So I don't know what's going on.
Weird. Yeah, he just got the phone, so we'll have to.
I hope it's not the fucking phone. I got to do some. I mean, they can return it, but I don't want to have to deal with that at all.
Can you just bring it to Verizon, or
I don't know. Let's not even talk about it. Let's not even talk about it. Haseen says he saw us on Dynamite last night. I guess the watch along. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming back.
You saw us on Dynamite last night. That'd be awesome.
Thanks for coming back, Haseen. Yeah, we got the Steiners against two jokers. I don't know where are they. South Africa? Is that right?
I think South Africa is where they're from. It's Sergeant Kruger, which is a fun name. And then the other guy, Colonel DeClerc. Can you tell who that is?
Let me see. Wait a minute.
Right there. Well, I don't know where you're at in time. I had a pause for a moment, so I'm kind of. What time are you at? So I can kind of.
Let me tell you.
I can get back in.
And everybody else, if you're new or catching up, we're at 22, or excuse me, we're at 23:28.
Cool.
I don't know who the bald guy in the ring. Who is it?
Yeah, he's not really. Oh no, not the bald guy. It's the other guy.
Okay.
If they cut to
It
his
looks like
face,
Chavo.
no, Oh man, if you know,
I can't see that far.
he became part of another really like famous tag team in ECW and then WCW, briefly in WWE. He's running the ropes right now.
Yeah, there he goes.
Any guesses? Anything?
No, I don't. I
All right.
I can't recognize them.
That is. Oh my God. He also just took a crazy
He
bump.
got wiped out. Yeah.
That is none other than Rocco Rock.
Oh, what? That's
Of
crazy.
Public Enemy fame. Yeah. How about that?
I get a pass for not knowing him because I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't think you've seen them before. Yeah, no.
We haven't watched much WCW. I think I've seen like 2 or 3 matches.
No. We've done watch-alongs on like 10 shows, babe.
Not W. Oh, ECW is.
Oh,
what I was saying.
ECW.
Sorry, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I didn't mean to say W. There's so many letters, you know.
Yeah, we haven't
Right.
gotten into ECW yet.
Yeah. No, I've seen a lot of WCW at this point.
See,
I
the
did not
thing
watch
with
wrestling growing up.
I see it now. Yeah.
the thing with ECW is if you're going to rewatch them. So I've done some shows where I've gotten to rewatch them, but he gave me the guy that I did it with sent me a file of the actual like ripped show because it's unedited. It's got crowd chants, which are nuts. It's got anything that you need to like watch it in that context because
Yeah.
ECW was not like anything else. But
Well,
you
I
watch it
bet it
on
has real
Peacock,
music.
oh my God. Peacock is the worst. Like
Yeah.
New Jack has an awful dub theme. It's trash. So
Yeah.
try to find the real zip files if possible. But Rocco Rock taking the Frankensteiner.
Steiners get the win. They're in the semifinals there.
The referee is pinning, and he wasn't even covering him yet.
Like, we got to get this over. We got to get it.
That's a mouthful. The Pat O'Connor Memorial International Tag Team Tournament. And for the record, I believe this was the one and only time they did this tournament.
That's a giant trophy for a one-time tournament.
Yeah.
It's a Starrcade. It's a big
Yeah.
big thing.
I think this is where you got your Conan coming up
Yeah.
in this match.
Oh, is that Chris Adams and Norman Smiley?
Oh yeah, Norman
Oh.
Smiley and the inventor of the super kick, Chris Adams.
I did not know he invented the super kick.
Yeah.
Wow,
He's like
okay.
one of the best guys to ever do it with that. Norman Smiley in 1990, you never would have known that he would have become like the cult hero in
Yeah.
99, 98, 99, and then that like hardcore division.
Right. He was funny. He was very funny. Yeah, if
There
you
go,
missed him,
Starrcade stats.
I love it.
No, it's awesome.
If you missed Smiley during that era, Norman Smiley, he would be in all these hardcore matches, but he would like shriek and he would wear like a football helmet and stuff to the ring so he didn't get hurt.
And he'd wear the jersey of the
Right.
of where he was. Like Toronto, I remember he wore it, Maple Leaf jersey. There's Conan, looks pretty much like Conan, and then WCW never knew what the hell they were doing. The title graphic said Rey Mysterio.
Rey
Yeah, so
Mysterio.
that-
Yeah.
It's clearly Rey Mysterio Senior, but they don't know what they're doing. But it's his dad.
And I think that Rey Mysterio is spelled differently than the last one.
You're probably right. It probably had a Y in there.
I think it had a Y.
It's crazy. And then this is Conan, but it's spelled like Conan the Barbarian with the K, though. And
Yeah.
normally it's with
One
two
N.
N's in the middle.
Right.
They never could get their Starrcade stats straight, ever.
And Conan in good shape. That's in
Oh,
the
yeah.
I've never,
white
yeah,
match.
I've never seen him in that shape. Like I've only seen like older, slightly
You've seen him
slower.
with a wolf pack shirt on.
Yeah, with his boxers hanging out of his.
Well, when he was in the
Right.
Filthy Animals.
Oh, the Filthy Animals. Yeah.
Look at that. There we go. There's a pull. That's good.
That was a fun era. I thought the Filthy Animals were a great
I
staple.
like them, yeah.
Filthy Animals they had a great theme song too. I felt it was very very good for them.
I don't remember. Can you sing a few bars?
No, I'm not that fluent in Spanish, and I'm pretty sure they cut into it. So I couldn't do it. But
All
the
right.
beat's really nice, and I'm not going to attempt to do that either.
We'll search it up
Yeah,
later.
we'll find.
So Kay, you said you didn't watch wrestling growing up. So
Yeah.
what are we doing? How is this happening? How are you doing a wrestling podcast rewatching a Starrcade
Yeah.
from almost 40 years ago?
So I have like a theater background, and after I graduated from college, this dude that I was dating, we were watching South Park, and they
Okay.
did a wrestling episode where they were comparing it to like ancient Greek theater,
Yeah.
and it just made wrestling sound like fascinating to me. And so he was big, like he grew up watching wrestling, and so I started watching wrestling with him, and it was WWE. I don't know what year it was, like 2008 ish, maybe 2009. And I became like obsessed with CM Punk. It was when he was doing like the
Wow.
Straight Edge Society stuff. And I still hadn't watched like any older wrestling. But then after he and I broke up, I stopped watching wrestling for a while. And then Asa during the pandemic was like giving wrestling a try again. And I just got sucked in with AEW. I guess we watched
Well, we were
WWE
watching
before
WWE before
that.
that. Yeah.
I stopped watching it because it was not for me.
Fair. There's some really dull years right before the pandemic. Arguably was like some of the worst WWE I've ever seen.
It was rough.
And then when AEW came along, and it was like, especially at the beginning when it was like almost very small to no stories a lot of the time, and it was just like awesome matches.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this is like what I've been looking for.
Yeah, it's an alternative. That's all people want. I don't
Yeah.
care if you love WWE or hate it. It's just nice to
Yeah.
have something with that type of budget
Right.
that you
Hell
don't
yeah.
have to watch WWE and you can watch something else for yourself. Like that's
Yeah.
nice.
And we used to cover Ring of Honor too, and I got very into that because that's like nothing but like back-to-back matches.
Yeah.
Maybe we should again. Ring of Honor's fun.
Yeah.
But well, we wouldn't be doing this tonight if we were watching Ring of Honor. So
Yeah, we gotta
Maybe not.
leave a night open for retro wrestling.
yeah. I think we're gonna do it more regularly. I think. Well, fuck, we might not be able to in a month. I don't know. Just pray about it. Just pray on it, everybody, and maybe we'll get our retro wrestling saved somehow.
I think like if you think about
Really stressing me out.
no, but if you think about like the people who watch WWE now,
Yeah.
like even if they're like it's because their kids like it, they had to have watched. Like I mean, I feel like most of the parents had to have watched it when they were kids.
Yeah.
Well, they have
and
that
I feel like they would
commercial
be
now.
outraged if they couldn't watch the older stuff.
Well, no, I think we'll get definitely the
Yeah.
older WWE stuff. I'm just nervous about WCW and ECW and like WCCW and everything else. Smoky Mountain and
They
all that stuff.
have been starting to acknowledge like the nostalgia factor with I don't know if you've seen the commercial where like the kid's playing with his dad with action figures. And
Oh, I
they
love
have,
that
like,
commercial. It's great.
They got like an old match on and they're playing with figures and then they cut to like now we're playing with like the new figures and stuff.
Mhm.
It's a great
So
commercial.
it's nice that they play off the nostalgia. So on my pod, cheap plug, I just cover weekly wrestling or whatever, but I have a journalism background, so I don't use it. I'm a mailman in real life, so
Well, you're using it now. You're using it now.
right. No, so I'm using it for this.
Yeah.
But when I like to do interviews with people that have either had wrestling in their lives, they were a wrestler, they are a wrestler, they were a fan when they were little, they were a fan now, anything like that. So when you're saying like, of course, like if the kid likes it, there's got to be a parent or someone that had to have watched it. And I was telling Asa earlier, like my dad took me to Monday Nitro when I was little, and I mean, if he doesn't watch wrestling, I don't get involved, and it just nothing happens. But it's nice having that. I don't know where you guys are in the time code. Chris Adams just went out to the ring, like near the commentary desk. I'll wait till Asa gets back to say what I was going to say.
Yeah, we're at 3250 right now.
Okay,
30,
cool.
Yeah.
So you must have been pretty happy to see CM Punk kind of return into the wrestling scope.
I loved it.
Were
and
you?
Then
And
I
then
was
you
just
were
like heartbroken. Like, I mean, part of what I loved about him is like he seemed like a really big fucking asshole, and like when he was in WWE, and that was like I embraced that as like his character. That was also very possibly like part of his personality.
true. There's always an
it's,
extension to the character. You never really know.
Yeah, and it wasn't really like him leaving, like getting fired from AEW that bothered me, but just like with all that he has said about WWE over the years and like slamming them for like political things and like sex things and just like I feel like he's set himself up as like having this one set of beliefs and then going back to WWE for me just like made him go against everything that he has said that he stands for. And like I can't go with that.
And I agree with you. I also see though that like I mean he didn't do a Saudi show and he was really critical about Saudi. So I mean I'd be very curious if I don't think he'll do one. I think they'll try to dance around him not doing it.
But he was injured this one, wasn't he?
Yeah, but it's like how many can you get away with that for 5 more years of that? Like we don't know. Because I can see where he comes off hypocritical. But at the same time, if it's not Vince and it's a different regime and you feel like you're going to be used better and you just came from AEW where everything just like blew up and you couldn't really trust anybody, whether you like the guy or not, I would be going to WWE too. And Seth Rollins brought it up, whether it's, in a promo or not, like Punk knows, we all know this is definitely his last like real chance. Like if he messes it up in WWE, he ain't coming back. It's all over. So he might as well be all smiles and get his bag and do whatever and then go out in the sunset. So very polarizing for sure.
It was also just like weird for me to see face CM Punk because I had never seen that. And so I was like, I just want to see his heel character.
I think
just love it.
Give it some time. It'll happen. I think this Paul Heyman favor thing will turn into something because I don't know. He can't be a good guy forever. It's not in him. Like you said, he's definitely like he's got heel tendencies in real life. So
I just like Kay said, all that stuff kind of, left a bad taste in my mouth. It happened in AEW. Seems like a real asshole. But I'd usually try and put that aside in wrestling because there are a lot of people who do questionable things. I mean, just like the rest of us in life, nobody should be judged.
In wrestling is perfect. Neither we are.
Yeah. Exactly. But we just hear about it because they're famous. Yeah. So.
Oh, right. It's out for everybody to see. So.
I try and put that stuff aside when I can. But yeah, I mean, wrestling is definitely, it's more exciting to see CM Punk around because you're never quite sure what he's going to say or do, So I like him. I mean,
I still like him because like he's what like really pulled me in hard into wrestling. I guess I put him up on like too high of a pedestal as like having this set of beliefs. But I mean, like you're saying, like everyone deserves multiple chances. I think in anything. So I haven't given up on him yet. I just I don't have quite the same feeling about him that I did when I watched him in his
initially. That was also 15 years ago, and a lot can change in that time. Wow, here we go with Mr. Saito and Great Muta.
Great Muta
always looks great. This type of gear and how he's presenting himself here is what I envisioned how they did with Shinsuke just now. They turned his character into like a darker character with like a little mask thing. And it's easy to be like, Great Muta, Shinsuke, there's Mist and like, it's somewhat of a similar type of character presentation, but Muta would be a normal guy and then he'd have a darker side and it made him more successful. And I think them doing that with Shinsuke is pretty cool too, but Great Muta is a legend for sure.
I loved it.
This will be nice.
He was so, still is, I guess, but he was so mysterious when I was a kid, Muta.
Yeah.
And especially when you don't know where the mist comes from, it's like, how does he do that?
It's really cool. There's a photo out there. I think it's a promo photo of him and Sting, and they look like they're like pals. Like Sting's got him in a headlock, and they're both like, well, he's like smiling, and Great Muta's like in pain. But I don't know. I just found that those two guys were like the perfect yin and yang of, face painted wrestlers. I don't know.
Yeah, we had who won? Steiner Brothers won. They're in the semifinals. Norman Smiley and Adams won, I think, right?
No, Rey Mysterio and Conan won.
My bad, I missed that. Okay.
You didn't miss much.
Yeah, that was a really fast match.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about it. There's 14 matches on this thing, and you don't have 14 matches in 2 hours and 40 without some of them being 3 minutes.
Mhm.
Rip
I was
Morgan is on the other team, and then the guy in the ring right now jumping over Muda is Jack Victory, who ended up going to ECW in the last 3 years of its existence.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. But he's called something else here. Something Jacko?
Jacko Victory, yeah.
Jacko Victory, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're packed in there at the Kiel Auditorium, packed to the rafters, it looks like to me.
Yeah, oh yeah.
WCW's attendance was not like amazing at this point either, but I mean, just a big show goes to show you.
Yeah, it says here 7,200 packed into the Kiel Auditorium, and the Kiel Auditorium could hold 9,300. So pretty much as close to a sellout as you could get with the ring and the stage factored in to put seats in there. But looked pretty good from what I can see.
Yeah, looks good to me. Looks like more than 7,200 to me, but what do I know?
Right, it could have been, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about the Greensboro Coliseum a little bit ago. A lot of people don't know this. Did you know it's the largest indoor coliseum on the East Coast?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know until a couple years ago, and I grew up around here. It's we live like 25 minutes from there.
Oh, cool! Wow, you guys are right in Horseman country.
Oh,
WCW.
yes, we are.
Cut. That's amazing. That's really cool.
Yeah, Arn's son wrestles for our local like indie wrestling. So Arn Anderson's there like every time.
Arn Anderson. We get to see Arn Anderson once a month.
Yeah.
And here he is. Wait, there he is.
I saw that one. Yeah, that's incredible. Wow.
Yeah, that's from meeting him. I got a picture with him too. I'm gonna try and get that up.
I'd like to meet him. I've met Luger. I've met Flair. Barry Windham was on my flight to WrestleMania a couple of years ago.
What WrestleMania did you go to?
For that one, I want to say it might have been New Orleans, so it was 34.
Awesome, that was a good one. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it was always a bucket list item to go, and I ended up finally going to 32, 33, 34, and 35.
Oh my God!
Wow,
I'm jealous.
I moved, and then the pandemic hit, so everything was up in the air, and I didn't go to Mania until this past year because it was in Philly, so we got to drive, and it was a lot easier than flying. So 5 for me, but
I definitely want to go. I'm very jealous. I've wanted to go since I was like 9 years old, and I've heard there've been some rumors they're doing it in Nashville very soon.
I would say that's pretty safe to say. I know they're renovating and getting a new building out there by 2027, so I would say that's pretty good. Because I keep telling people, you better, and if WrestleMania or any of these PLEs come to you or near you, try to go, because it's only going to get more expensive, more international.
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to be tough to see them. Like Mania in Vegas is nuts. It's going to be probably across the pond in a couple years. Like, get it while you can.
I'm very excited about WWE's. I mean, like you said, they are definitely making a move towards being more international.
Yeah.
So we're just more and more people, and I feel like we're going to have a kind of like they did with NXT, even though it failed. I think we're going to have like a WWE India. We're going to have maybe a WWE Mexico. Maybe I would like that.
I'd say WWE Japan.
Exactly. Maybe. Yeah. I feel like we're going to see that in the next 5 years.
They're branching out so much with that, and they got the NIL stuff. They got this new WWE ID thing. I think they're just like touching the surface of what they can do to just get more talents in. And I know that the criticism is like, well, they're just monopolizing everything. But I'll tell you this, there's going to be plenty of wrestlers that do the ID thing, don't go to WWE and find work in AEW, TNA, anywhere. So it's only going to help the business. So
yeah, it's like people, I mean, I'm not anti either. I like AEW way better, but I'm not anti WWE. And then people are like, oh, the ID program, the people acting like it's evil. It's like, why don't you want these indie guys to get chances? Like,
it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing, and it's better than like literally like poaching talent and being like, no, you can't work there anymore. It's over. You're in WWE. Like, no more indie dates. Like, this is, you can work there. You're under this program. We'll fund it. Like, I don't know. It's a nice, nice way to do it.
Yeah, like I said, I think they're international. I think we're going to see different like leagues, whatever you want to call them,
That'd be interesting.
promotions, whatever you call. I would bet dollars to donuts. That's what's happening.
Okay.
In 5 years, I would say maybe 10
Within
years.
5 years.
I'd say-
No. They're like fast tracking that.
Yeah, the
telling you.
emphasis on the first W in WWE has been
Mhm.
rampant in the last probably 2 to 3 years. Like since I'd probably say since that first Clash at the Castle, they've just
Yeah.
been going like 3 to 5 international shows, not counting Saudi Arabia, like
Mhm.
in general. So I'm
Yeah.
here for it because the
I mean,
crowds
yeah.
are great. It's fun to watch those.
Right. Yeah. The receptions in Puerto Rico, Saudi Arabia,
Oh yeah,
Germany, they've all been like
Yeah,
phenomenal.
yeah.
France.
That Puerto Rico show is like one of my favorite wrestling shows I've ever watched.
The
Just because of
Backlash?
the crowd. Yeah,
Yeah.
Backlash.
yeah. Bad Bunny
Like
coming
that
out.
Io Sky
Oh, man.
Bianca Belair match, like you could feel them like feeding off their energy. It was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely want to go to a WrestleMania. I'd
Yeah.
like to go to All In Texas this year. Yeah, are we going?
I mean, I think we're gonna go. Yeah,
What? Really?
yeah. I mean, if we're gonna
So
say
that's funny you guys bring that up. So I've been thinking like with Mania, if I was gonna do it, and who knows, but if I was gonna do it, I'd likely probably only do like night 2. You'll probably see Cena's final Mania match, and everything's gonna happen on that night. And I got to go to both nights this past year, so I've seen like that, and it was nice to do it once, and it's like optional now. I like to just pick and choose what I want to do. But
How do
I
you
also
feel-
think if sorry, but if I
No, go
don't
ahead.
do that, I think I might try to do All In because the last time I was in Dallas was Mania 32, and I'd love to go down there again.
yeah.
And I think I've not been in an AEW pay-per-view. I've been to multiple Dynamites and stuff, but never got to go to a pay-per-view because they haven't been to Pittsburgh for one. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
We went to Revolution
Mhm.
this year. Sting's
Oh my
final match.
God.
Yeah.
Of course you did. The greatest.
gosh.
That's probably the best
Awesome.
pay-per-view AEW has done.
Yeah.
Maybe ever.
It's the best show I ever saw live,
Yeah.
for sure.
Damn.
I
Sting's
mean-
retirement and what was it? Osprey and
Exactly. Osprey and Takeshita.
Oh my God.
We were like, what row were we? We
That's-
were like 11th row, something like
Something
that.
like that. Yeah.
And we,
That's
just
crazy.
Osprey and Takeshita was just, I was just transfixed on it. I mean, it was to see that so close.
Yeah.
Was amazing. I mean, it was art.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a barn burner.
Yeah.
But yeah, the crowd was hot for that show, most of it. Yeah, that was a blast. Yeah, and just got to see Darby Allin do the front flip through the
I know.
fucking glass.
Oh,
and
man.
I thought he
He'll
was
do
gonna.
anything for the company.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna die. I'm afraid he is gonna die on television. Like seriously,
He'll be fine.
Or
Yeah,
Sammy
I mean-
Guevara. I mean, both those guys
I
are
feel like
nuts.
it's more likely because I feel like Darby.
The spot that
Um,
he did, like, of course I don't know. Like, of course it was dangerous, but it's like Darby would not, I don't know. He would do nuts things. He would do whatever to benefit the company or the match. For Sting, he would do it. And I don't know if Tony Khan would sign off on something way too extreme. So we'll see. Although they use staple
See,
guns and stuff all the time.
I'm afraid that he's so inexperienced in the business, Tony Khan. I mean, then I feel like he would sign off on things that are
Like he
too
might
dangerous.
think are okay.
Yeah.
See, but I feel like with his connection to the Hart family, like
Who's
Right.
Tony Khan's,
Oh.
like
Like
with
just
his
AEW in
relationship with
general,
Martha Hart, like I feel like I think he
They're
cares
probably
about his
like,
wrestlers too much to like put them in like actual legitimate.
I'm not saying he
Super
doesn't
big.
care. I think he cares very much. I
And
just
that's
think he's a little naive, perhaps, to know what is going to be super dangerous
Yeah.
and not.
I can
Well, he
agree
brought
with that.
stunt people in to show Darby how to set up or show the Young Bucks how to set up the chairs for that. Like it wasn't that just them winging it, you know?
Yeah, they did like rehearsal
Yeah.
or something.
And you bring up Darby, he just came down like Sting a couple
Yeah,
weeks
right.
ago. So they're cool with rappelling from the ceiling.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who
And
knows?
I read that Tony Khan asked Martha Hart before they did that.
Right, to
Yeah.
get that clearance, which,
Yeah.
I mean, good on him. That's nice.
Yeah. You
Don't
would-
know
you
if
would
that
not-
the fella in the ring is shaved in his entire life.
You guys see that?
My
Who
God.
we
Well,
got? We
outside of the bald spot. These four guys, I couldn't tell you. There's no Wikipedia on Troy Montour or Danny Johnson.
Where are they
the other
from?
two,
What country are they representing, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know.
I missed the introduction. We got Zangief, not from Street Fighter 2.
No, these are the. Although I just clicked on his wiki and it says he originally he wrestled professionally in Japan, where he became the cultural inspiration for the Zangief character of Street Fighter.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That's
about
awesome.
I was just
these
thinking
guys
it's
are from
coincidence. I guess that.
These guys are from the Soviet Union.
Okay.
This guy is got this guy in a pretzel though.
He's looking good so far. Zangief. Oh, folks, yeah. So an update. We just had a bunch of new people come on in the last couple minutes. So for you to catch up with us, Starrcade 1990 is what we're watching. It's on Peacock, and right now, and I'll do this again in a couple minutes. We are at 49-24. Yeah, been a fun show so far. Nothing dragging. All the matches have been,
That's the good part, is because it's a tournament and there's a lot of matches. The undercard of those tournament matches will be quick, concise. It is what it is. And then, I mean, I know how it turns out. So you're going to see some quality stuff once we get to the end. So they'll save that there. But
I feel like I know how it turns out, but I'm not sure.
you can take one guess and you would be exactly right.
Oh, well, okay.
When you look at the teams and how they're set up and who's on the teams,
yeah,
I think it'd be pretty easy to see. While these guys are wrestling, quick sidebar. I don't know if you can see the cameraman.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
We're talking about Darby Allin diving through glass. Meanwhile, we're flinching at this guy getting like a dart right into the mat there. He was not flipping him over. Some of the camera guys, if you can catch, I don't know if we had a good view of it. You were away from the camera for a moment, Asa. So I was bringing it up and then they kind of cut from the shot. But if you see the guys wearing the shirt, the camera guys wearing a certain shirt with a box right about here, it says WCW Crew on it. So I'm going to take this time to show you.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's the front. Not as cool as the back, though. The back's the...
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice. Wow. That is awesome.
Anybody that's new to me, I told Asa earlier, I try to, I want to be the guy that preserves WCW, and I always talk about it, I always bring it up, I always reference it, just to keep the name alive, keep people talking. And I've gone out of my way. I started collecting wrestling shirts, vintage shirts, probably 2017. And it was more or less just trying to get some of the cooler just designs. But then it kind of turned into, I traded a Cactus Jack shirt for a Super Brawl 4 shirt. And I was like, man, these designs on the pay-per-view shirts are really awesome. And they're unique and they're kind of like art. And they were only given away to so many people. And they're very so limited. And I made it my goal to get a shirt from every pay-per-view from WCW from 90 to the end, which is 2001.
Wow.
So I've got 10 left. I need 10 more.
What? No shit. Wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever done a feature with all of them in it or anything?
If nothing on this particular show or anything. If you check my Instagram out, I've got all that's where I post all of them. And I have, I don't know. I've got everything from 97 to the end. I have every single one.
Wow, that has to have cost a pretty penny, man, because I know how much some of those are.
Oh, here's that belly to belly.
Oh, I see where he almost died.
He knows he doesn't want to do it, and he.
Oh my God! It almost ended up being that guy's memorial tournament there.
Yeah, that was.
It didn't look as bad on the slow mo.
It didn't. Well, that was bad.
I think that was the second one. I think the first one they didn't replay that because he got dumped right on his head. They've cost a few pennies over the years, but
sure, I know
it honestly has gotten more sparse. I've had 10 left for a few years now because the ones I need I only see a few times. Or
what are you missing?
Let's see. I have it in the notes. I'll pull it up. We got.
And then real quick, can you hold that up again for us, please?
Absolutely. Give me a moment, real quick. If I can find this damn shirt one.
Here we got the Stinger. We got Rat Tail Stinger.
Oh yeah,
The best
love Rat
Sting.
Tail Sting.
Oh, the best thing.
All right, so here I'll show the shirt again.
Yeah,
So
I think
you'll see some of the guys out in the ringside area. You'll see the front of it at least. So this is definitely from one of the guys doing camera work or whatever, and it just says WCW Crew there. And then the back design is this.
Yeah, and we got kind of comic book art on the back there. We got Lex Luger at the top, who looks like Fabio, kinda, and then we got Ric Flair on the left and Sting on the right. And am I
Yep.
wrong? Am I wrong? Does Sting have? Doesn't he have like a faint little mustache on that drawing? Am I right?
I think that's just the old age of the shirt.
Okay. Because I actually, it's weird you're bringing that up. I saw a white T-shirt today with that on the front.
That is likely the one that was actually given out, like that you could buy as a fan.
Yeah.
So I used to just be a stickler and be like, I just want the one that the fans got. But once I started realizing I might not have that option, I will take any, like if a guy had one and wore it as the camera guy, I just want the event represented from a shirt.
That's
So
awesome.
because
That's
some of the
awesome.
shirts, like look, if 7,200 people are there, I can tell you probably not even half bought the shirt, let alone kept it. Like
Right.
it just shrinks over time with how many are left. So I'm here to preserve the lineage. So the shirts I do have are the ones that I need.
Okay. And send me a list because we got some pretty good vintage clothing places around us. So
Okay.
I'll keep an
Yeah.
eye out if you send me a list.
Yeah, and it's wrestling country.
It's wrestling country, exactly.
Exactly. You guys are right in there. So
Yeah.
let's see if I can pull this up. I got my Starrcade over here. I got the stream over here. All right. So the ones that I need from 1990, I need, let's see, I think I have them at the bottom. Hold on. Maybe I have a different list. Oh, wait. No, I have it right here. It's at the bottom. I didn't scroll. 90, I still need Wrestle War and Capital Combat. And that's the return of RoboCop. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a tough one. 91, I need Wrestle War, Super Brawl, Halloween Havoc. 92, I need Wrestle War. So I need every Wrestle War. And I started from 90 because WCW, it was NWA, and then it turned into WCW at Wrestle War 90, I think. So anything from that being WCW onward, but I just went from 90 in general onward. So to have a crisp, like from the 90s era. And some of the 80s shirts are insane to find.
Just
so.
a note for people. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead. It's your show. Come on.
Sorry. No, well, we still don't interrupt people. Try not to. Now I don't even remember what I was going to say. No, 1990.
Yeah.
Just for those of you out here who aren't WCW, experts, as Juice was just saying, in 1990 it became WCW, but just to be clear, they're still using the NWA titles.
Oh yeah.
So like tonight, the world title match, the main event, is the NWA world title, which Sting has, because the WCW world title did not yet exist.
No.
Wasn't a thing. And none of the WCW titles existed at this point, right?
Yeah, I don't think so yet. Actually, so I think I was mistaken there. I believe 91, Wrestle War 91 is the first true WCW show, but I wanted to just get everything from 90 onward to make it crisp and concise. So
my mom's watching tonight.
Mom,
Are you are you watching the pay-per-view with us also? Or just watching us?
She's so cute.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Juice Springsteen, Mom. Oh, I'm trying to point. That's him. He's new. I found him because he was talking about WCW and online, and then I was like, "Hey, I like WCW. let's talk. Yeah, let's hang out."
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, not many people. That's what I'm saying. I'm like one of the only guys that like. I will put the flag in the ground. I will always defend WCW, good and bad.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, I was a part of like a panel thing we did where we reviewed the Who Killed WCW. So that was kind of bittersweet to every week being like, here we go. They're just burying WCW. This is how it ended. But it was fun.
Speaking of resources, have you seen, or excuse me, have you read the book Nitro by Guy Evans?
Yeah, I have that book.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a wonderful resource. And it's got, I mean, interviews from everybody that really was there. So
I'm
it
reading
is
it.
what it
I'm
is.
finishing it up right now.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah,
he's
it's
doing
great.
another one. I think he's got another book coming. And maybe it's, I don't know if it is called Thunder, but it deals with like other stuff later on in WCW.
Nice.
I have to look into that. But I know I keep getting emails from him saying that it's coming out soon. So
yeah, for my money, if you're out there, if you're interested in WCW, there's this great book written by Guy Evans. It's thick. It's like that thick.
oh, it's a big one.
It's a good read, but it's it's a page turner. It's called Nitro by Guy Evans, and it covers WCW from 1995 through the end in 2001. And he talks to, like Juice was saying, he talks to bookers, talks to people who worked at TNT, talks to people who worked at TBS, talks to wrestlers, like he talks to Hulk Hogan, and the people, like he's not just talking out of his ass. He's talking to the people who were actually there for the stuff that happened. So you're getting some sort of version of the truth.
That's right.
But it's a great book. Honestly, my favorite wrestling read that's not an autobiography. I'll say that. I just think the book was really well done, and a lot of stuff I didn't know until I read it. So yeah, Nitro, Guy Evans. If you're interested, check it out.
Yeah, you probably pick it up anywhere.
Of Hogan's contract in it.
Yeah, right. And it had
it had that, and it had like a listing of like all the people, like the money that people were making, I think.
Yeah,
and it was just like some of these dudes are on like Thunder once a month and they're getting like 400 grand. It's like, oh my God, what are we doing? Throwing money away. But I wanted to continue Super Brawl 90 in 93. So Super Brawl 3.
I'm sorry.
Battle Bowl from that year, and Starrcade 93, and then Starrcade 96. So 10 shows left that I need. But every other year I've got a chunk from, or like I said, from 97 onward, I have every pay-per-view shirt. So it got tougher because 90, there's like 5 pay-per-view events. And then once we got into like 94, there was 6 or 7. And then by 97, there's 12. So 12 shirts in every one of those years. Of course, the last year had 3, but it was just like, man, I got to keep going.
Do you have them all in your size, or you're just taking what you can get?
They are what they are. The one shirt I did, so Super Brawl 2, I had never even seen, and then I came across a guy that had a youth, and it was a white shirt, which had a cooler design. It was more colorful of the design, and then but it was like a child large. Yeah. Which was annoying because I'd prefer the white one, but the black one was like an adult size, and it had the same graphic on the back. So I was like, whatever, I'll take that one, and then I sold the other one off because it just no one would see these shirts. If you don't see them once, you may never see them.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. The only WCW, pay-per-view shirt, vintage one I ever had was Halloween Havoc '98, where if you bought the pay-per-view, they mailed you the shirt.
There you go. See, and that's how some of them you could get. Like I know some of the ones that you could buy in the catalog. They would sell some of them in the catalog.
And I gave it away, I think, to Goodwill, and I feel like a dope because I know it's over like $80 now.
Yeah, it's a solid vintage shirt. Like I was saying so not the Havoc reprint or repro that you have. There's another one that they created. It has a combination of a logo, I think your logo, plus that pumpkin from the back of that 98 shirt. So they kind of combine.
I would like that. I haven't seen that one.
Designs of them, yeah.
I have Halloween Havoc is my favorite pay-per-view ever. I mean, WrestleMania, Starrcade, whatever, blah blah blah. Halloween Havoc. We do this year we only did like 2 watch-alongs, but last year I think we did 4 Halloween Havocs. I love it. I mean, I love Halloween. I love wrestling. So to have them together, it's just beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, it's perfect. I got the link. It's got, actually, it kind of looks like it might be the one. Does yours have a back image to it?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you definitely got the Halloween Havoc one. Is it purple or is it black?
You're talking about the one,
The newest
or
one.
the new one.
The one that I didn't. I think you had it at in some of those WrestleCade pictures. I saw
Yeah,
that
it's black,
posted. Okay.
black with yellow and orange
Yeah,
text.
that is more of the 95 Halloween Havoc
Yeah,
logo,
exactly,
or
yeah.
94, 95.
Right.
But they have another one with that same logo, but the back has a WCW logo, and then the pumpkin from 98. I see it right here.
It's a trap. It's a trash. Take this. Sorry.
Pretty cool.
So let's see here. Matt Presto, and Michael Wall Street just got the win there.
Yeah, he did it with the he's the computerized man of the 90s. So this gimmick was, they calculated how long it would take to, like, he could beat this guy in how long, and he had like 8.5 minutes or something, and he did it in that time. So pretty unique gimmick for like pre-internet. Like now that gimmick would be kind of, you could play it a lot differently now because there's so much more you could do, but pretty innovative here in 90.
Yeah, Alexandra York was his manager, and that was her deal. She would enter everything in the computer. She's like a computer expert.
Yeah.
Which is why she is dressed like a librarian. She'd put everything in the computer and analyze the opponent's weaknesses and this and that. And there's Michael Hayes dressed like Uncle Sam.
91. Oh man.
Let's see here. Matt Presto says Juice might be the youngest WCW historian on the planet. Incredible. Yeah, he knows his stuff. Switch says blessings to you all. Hard to find fans of wrestling nowadays. Oh, well, I'm glad you're here, Switch. Thanks for joining us. And here, let me update people real quick because we keep having people joining, thankfully. Good. Watching Starrcade 1990. And we are at 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 14 seconds, if you want to sync up with us.
Oh, look at these jabronis coming down.
Yeah, it's been a fun show so far. I'm definitely glad you came on, Juice. It's been great so far.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's been fun so far. We're gonna start getting into really good stuff in a little bit. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. We got this is a squash for sure, but this is the Motor City Madman and Big Cat, who is, do you know who that is?
Is that Ice Train?
No. But now, just the only hint I'll give you is that he never stopped wearing sunglasses.
Mr. Hughes.
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I thought he looked familiar. I thought he looked familiar when it came out.
You can see who they're gonna face here in a moment. I can see him from how tall they are just walking out.
You remember Ice Train? You remember him?
Oh yeah, Ice Train. Yeah.
I liked him. I thought he was good. Oh yeah, here we go.
Whew.
Yes, we got the Skyscrapers, Sid Vicious, and Dangerous Danny Spivey.
Sid's got the gear that was the gear for the Galoob action figure, just a black singlet. Love that figure growing up. Man, you mentioned Ice Train. He recently passed. Sid recently passed. Like, I heard, what a bummer.
When did Sid die?
It was recently. It was
Wait, what?
A couple months ago, I think.
We recorded him dying? We reported it. Oh, I remember now. I'm sorry. I forgot it. I thought he was still alive.
Well, I wish he was, but unfortunately, yeah. But this match is, I mean, I'm not even going to say anything. It's going to be over a couple more seconds here.
Yeah. Sid, so great. Such a presence. Always got over, whether he was a face or a heel. Always got over big time.
No matter what he did, I remark that, like, his authenticity, like, even if you call it like botching a promo, like how he would talk, that was him though. And like, regardless if he's botching a promo or misspeaking, he is a massive dude. And look what he's about to do to the Motor City Madman here. Do I want? Oh no. They could not get that hoss up.
Oh, there we go.
But they did. But yeah, Sid's like so imposing. So he had that ramen noodle hair. I love it.
Right. That's what I always thought about it too. That's funny you say that. I tell you, my favorite Sid era, if we call it that. Well, there were two. One
Okay.
was when he was teaming up with Vader. I mean,
Masters
wow.
of the Powerbomb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what a team.
Oh yeah. Whew.
That's
Look
when
at
I
that
first
stinger
started
splash
watching, and
from
they did
Sid.
those. Do what?
Oh, yeah, he did a stinger splash just now. He just did a
Yeah.
huge splash in the corner. Oh, but the vignettes with the boat.
Yes, and Cheatham, the evil little person.
Oh man.
But
Yeah.
my second favorite Sid period is like around 2000 when he was world champion under, I guess it was like the Vince Russo era, Eric Bischoff, somewhere in there.
Something. Well, kind of, because they took the title away from him at that reset. They reset all the titles
right.
in April of 2000.
April 10th. Yeah.
Yep. Denver, I think. So he was champion under Russo, not under Russo.
You got to put
So
the enter.
I'm already in it.
I don't see you.
Oh, okay. I'll just exit and come back.
No,
she
I
kind
see
of
you. I see you.
evaporated.
There she is.
Oh.
I think she went to get food.
Yeah, sorry.
Let's see.
You didn't miss much. You missed the whole match because it happened in a minute.
Yeah. Switch says Sid was awesome. His entrance alone later on was so hype. Yeah, definitely, man. He says Taker fits so much better than Sid to me. What do you mean fit better? Like in wrestling or what? In what?
I remarked this. It's crazy that Sid, like, say what you want, but he main evented 2 WrestleManias, and one was against Hulk Hogan and one was against The Undertaker. So it's like 2 of the biggest stars ever this guy main evented a WrestleMania with. So you can't take that away from the guy.
I think he's very underrated, honestly.
It's even though, somehow he is still underrated for sure.
And for those of you who just came in, or if you got off on the timing, we're at 1 hour, 10 minutes, 5 seconds.
Yeah, we saw Ricky Morton wrestle this last weekend.
That's right.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, he wrestled. They had a big indie show. They did the TNA pay-per-view Friday, Turning Point. They did a big indie show Saturday where Ricky Morton wrestled, and we saw Mustafa Ali versus Matt Riddle. And then Sunday they had an AML show, which is our local indie.
Okay.
That's the one where Ricky wrestled.
At Sundays. Oh, you're right. Sunday
He
show.
was in a tag match. He was partners with George South. And they were wrestling Joey Janela and AJ Francis.
Yeah. You remember George South?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
For
still
sure.
going.
Still going. He's
That's
got to
what
be
I'm saying. I
70
can't
something.
believe, like,
He's definitely
like,
like
okay.
in his 70s.
I was waiting for you to say who his tag partner was, and I was like, okay, who is it going to be? It's probably someone younger. Nope.
As they put it, it was, the old guys versus the young guys.
Sure.
Who won? I don't remember. The
Ricky
young
Morton,
guy.
Ricky Morton, and George South won.
Come on now, let's be real.
Yeah.
Let's realize that. Here we go. Remember, so we were talking about potential the time capsule of the time we're watching. This could not be more apropos than right now.
Yeah.
With the fabulous Freebirds. I mean, just regardless of what they're wearing, them by themselves, they are so damn over with people.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. And it's wild to see that Michael Hayes is just, bright suit producer guy now. It's such a stark contrast. Well, not that necessarily a stark contrast because he's wearing crazy shit here, but
you just can't see him as being you can't see him as being controlled, so it's hard to see him in charge of other people.
Like an integral part of something that's not in ring. Like he's really just behind the scenes. Like I assume he would just want to be in the ring doing the matches, not telling people what to do. But
based on what I've read, Hayes has a lot to do with the bloodline.
I'm sure
he's one of the lead. He and Heyman are like the lead guys doing that.
I'm sorry, I have a question. What is up with that dude in the green?
Little
that
Richard
is their
Marley?
buddy. Little Richard, what? What was his name?
Marley. I think it's Marley.
Marley. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess they had him to prove they're not giant racists.
Right.
That's always my thought.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, hey, see, we're fine. It's all good. Forget what we're wearing. It's all good. He doesn't care.
I don't know. I don't know how much experience you have with the South, but that's where I'm from and born and raised and still live. A lot of people think, not to get into a whole thing, but
no, it's fine.
Just because of the rebel flag, the Confederate flag, a lot of people think, oh, they're giant racist, the big red, but that's not really what it means here. Now, to some people, it means that for sure.
Right. And
But to a lot of people, it really doesn't mean that. They really do see it as history
yeah.
and don't see it as like politically incorrect, you know.
And why is that the only flag you see from the Confederate States of America when they had like 7 different flags throughout their brief time period of being a country?
Why is that the only one we see now?
Yeah.
Probably
If
because
it's
most of them.
preserving history, like why just that one?
Well, I'm trying to tell you,
Oh,
probably because most of them are too ignorant to know there were 7 flags.
Yeah.
Right. And the staying power. That's the one that's been around.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you my parents were huge Leonard Skinner fans.
Right, exactly.
And, I mean, they had Confederate flags all the time. And I
Dukes
don't
of Hazzard.
believe, you know, yeah. So culturally, it was definitely there. And I mean, like you're seeing here, this is clearly just their gimmick and what they're doing.
Right.
And it's you got to
Mm-hmm.
sometimes separate that or have an idea to how to separate it.
Like it's not really appropriate now, I don't think. But
no,
that's what I was saying. Just for people who don't know the South, you
It's
can be
absolutely
from
a
the
part of
South, and it doesn't mean you're a racist. You might not be the smartest person in the world for wearing it, but it doesn't necessarily mean you hate black people because you're wearing the rebel flag.
Yeah.
Because I met plenty of people who wear it or have it a patch on their jacket and that are not like trying to hate on black people or anything. Like you said, it might be more likely that they were Leonard Skinner fans or something. You know?
Right. And my only like kind of point to that is like, sure, that's why they had it, but it's like sometimes I would wager that the people that, you know, they will wear it, and then their excuse will be, well, now it's like this, like oh no, it's definitely not that. They will try to just ignore why people don't like it instead of just acknowledging it and saying, well, it isn't bad for what I'm representing it for, but I can see it. They're just like, there's no turning some people around. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
How dare you tell me what I can wear? You know?
I'll tell you that it's changed a lot. Like you would see it all over the place when I was a kid. I mean, I'm talking about 30 years ago, and you hardly ever see it anywhere now. You know, you're in like the backwoods if you see it now.
Oh,
when I first moved to North Carolina from Orlando, I was like, what the hell is happening here?
It's fun. We were just talking about the Confederate flag earlier today. We were talking about it.
Yeah, I in rural Pennsylvania for sure. I've seen it, so it's still got some cachet to some people.
Yeah.
Hey, you won't catch me wearing it, but that's not.
No, me neither. Yeah, no. I wouldn't wear it.
My dad is like a giant history buff, and he was part of this like Civil War Preservation Society. And when we lived in Orlando, anytime he saw someone with it, he would try and go up to them and talk to them about the Civil War. And like, for most people, it was like, what are you doing? Like, I'm just wearing this has nothing to do with the war, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, a lot of people work because it would be like, their grandfather was in the Confederate Army or something, you know?
Yeah. And again, you just don't know. It's tough to just look at it for face value and be like, oh, well, and just deem it racist or not. I don't know. It's a very fine line. So
yeah,
that's why I always stick to wrestling for the most part. But it gets intertwined here. It's tough to not discuss it, you know?
Well, like you said, it's a time capsule.
Yeah.
So a lot of times in wrestling, we do see things that aren't cool now, or a lot of people think they aren't cool now.
Right.
But it is interesting because it leads to discussions like we just had. That's one of the many cool things about wrestling is it is a reflection of the times very much.
Oh yeah, for sure. For better or worse.
Right.
I think so. Halloween Havoc 93. I think Eric Bischoff is dressed as a Confederate soldier.
Yes, he is. He's Lee. He's supposed to be Robert E. Lee.
Oh yeah. Well, there you go.
Ugh.
So
93 is the one with that great intro.
Oh yeah, where
Tony
Schiavone says, "It's my wife. She's baking."
Yeah.
I mean, and WCW had a white wrestler whose gimmick was that he was Little Richard, right?
Well, that he looked like Little Richard.
Yeah, but he was a white dude. He just like tanned himself a lot.
Which I didn't realize. I didn't know until she pointed it out. I
Yeah.
always thought Johnny B. Bad was a black guy, and she had to point it out to me. It was just a white dude with a lot of tanner on him.
His tan is like Hulk Hogan's probably number one. He's got like the leathery hot dog tan. Johnny B. Bad was kind of just like a lot better than that. It seemed more realistic, for lack of a better term. I thought where you were going with that, I thought you were going to talk about One Man Gang turning into Akeem, the African Dream in WWF, because it was just a big white guy turning into a white guy who is like culturally African and like dancing, and it was just like, I don't know about that. I don't know.
Yeah, that was strange.
For
But
sure.
no, I swear, until like 4 years ago, I thought Johnny B. Bad was a black dude, Mark Marrow.
Yeah,
He
my
had
mom.
tan lines. That should be.
I never noticed. I wasn't looking close enough to see his tan lines. You were.
I like their fashion.
My mom got to meet him because he's now a like speaker, like a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
And he visited where my mom works and got to meet him. And she mentioned something about like being a fan, and he like whispered in her ear, "I'm a bad man." And I was like, yeah, he's still got it.
It's a good day to be a bad man. So let's see. Switch here. He says, "Where was the indie match y'all went to?" It was Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
A lot of fall brawls took place in Winston-Salem.
Say what?
A lot of fall brawl events took place in Winston-Salem.
Yep. Several years in a row they had it there.
Yeah, one of my
I never went to it either. Like a dope.
No.
One of my coworkers who I didn't know watched wrestling, but knows I do a wrestling podcast, told me like, oh yeah, like a few weeks ago I just got rid of a bunch of fall brawl t-shirts.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and I was like, why? Why would you do that and not tell me?
And now I have to hear that secondhand story after I just told you about all those shirts.
I know,
and now I'm devastated.
Well, I got your list, so I'll keep an eye out for you. I'll put it on my phone.
You.
Yeah. It was in Winston-Salem. Switch. It's a company. You can find them at www.amlwrestling.com, right?
Yeah, but WrestleCade.com has it. I mean,
WrestleCade.com was the event, but AML Wrestling, we're seeing they broadcast them on some network, some indie network, where you can get a bunch of indie shows.
Yeah.
But they always end up having one or two like big names per show. Like we just saw Nick Nemeth wrestle on Sunday for them, and as we said, Arn
started to cut in, but there's Stan Hansen.
There he is.
All that chew.
But yeah, as we said, Arn Anderson, he's a manager there. Kurt Angle was at a show. He didn't wrestle, but he was there.
Well, and Ricky Morton's normally there because his son wrestles for them also.
Right. Yeah. Michael Mack, WCW, the best ever. I agree.
He knows what's going on.
Yeah. Switch says Hayes has a great wrestling mind. No doubt. Yeah. One of the best in regards to what he did back then. He was always over. He knew what he was doing. And now he's one of the head guys in WWE, creative. Yeah. And Hayes used to come up with the storylines when they battled the Von Erichs. Well, there you go.
Is this where Stone Cold got his vest design from? With the skulls?
Oh.
I want to say that is a coincidence.
Okay.
But that is awesome. Well, because it's skull and crossbones there, I see. But I don't know if I've ever noticed that. So that's a good pickup from you.
Well, I meant the skull on the front too, because doesn't he sometimes have like skulls on the front of it?
Sure.
Yeah.
But I just didn't notice the back either. I was like, I never saw that before.
And Switch says, would love to stream with y'all one day with a watch along. I bet we can work that out, Switch. That'd be fun. And he says, y'all lucky we barely get shows in Richmond, VA anymore. Yeah, I don't know. Shit, Virginia. Hey, welcome.
Yeah.
If weed's legal up in Virginia, that's the best thing I know about Virginia. And Switch says, good eye. And then calls you ma'am.
That's how you know you're officially old if you live in the South when someone calls you ma'am. But WrestleCade's every year, and like Virginia's not that far away. It's always the weekend after Thanksgiving, and they usually have like around 150 wrestlers. And they like TNA did a pay-per-view on Friday. They did a super show with like a bunch of people from different companies on Saturday, and then AML had like their show on Sunday.
Yeah, and then we met a bunch of people. If you want to see who we met, it's on our X account. I haven't put all the pictures yet, but I'm going to. That's on X. We're at No Bones Wrestling. That's at No Bones RASSLIN. But yeah, if you're even close to North Carolina, come to WrestleCade next year.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
it was a lot of fun, and you get to meet us too. So,
Yeah, I
Switch,
got to meet one of our friends,
yeah, Derek,
one of our viewers,
yeah,
Derek.
who hopefully is watching tonight.
Yeah.
Switch says, "I'll take shows over the weed, and I like to smoke." LOL. Oh yeah, wrestling's definitely better than weed. Yeah, no doubt. But if you can have both, that's cool. Um, okay, so yeah, we keep having people join us, which is
We got
nice.
the Steiners in new gear from their first match, so you know they are likely going to the finals. They are ready for this. This is why they're in here. But I like that. I mean, we talked about King of the Ring. 3 matches in a night. Here we go. 3 matches probably in a night. Nice to have different gear. Dedication.
So I'm sorry, we're at 1:24:05.
I can't believe that's Conan.
Yeah, I know.
Like
He used to be in shape. He was one of the top wrestlers in Mexico.
yeah, I
Yep.
had no idea.
Mexican heavyweight champion, U.S. champ in WCW.
And he's
My mom has
super-
a photo with Conan
oh,
back
cool.
from like the Nitro days. Like, so.
He was super over in WCW. I mean, way over. And
Knee injuries? Is that why I stopped wrestling?
I know he's on dialysis now. So
Yeah.
I think maybe he was sick back then a
Oh,
little
okay.
bit. I'm not sure.
I was because like he was one of the people that warned the Kingo about like watching how he could damage his knees.
Well,
From
so-
moves he does.
Yeah. So now, if you don't know, Conan runs AAA down in Mexico, the second biggest company in Mexico, and yeah, as Kay just said, he and Rey Mysterio kind of got together and tried to warn El Hijo del Vikingo, my favorite wrestler, tried to warn him like, dude, settle down your fucking style, or you're gonna cripple yourself. Basically, is what they told him. And then very shortly after that, he got injured. So I think they jinxed him.
No, they didn't.
I think they
It's
jinxed
not a real thing.
If
If
They
he
were
was
just
gonna
right.
get injured doing all that,
Yeah.
they were just right. They knew, and
Mhm.
they proved him right. And so hopefully he'll learn from that. And you can't. It's like with Darby. You're really gonna tell him to not do what he loves to do, you know?
Yeah.
And Rey Mysterio's had how many surgeries on his knees, and he's still wrestling.
Mhm.
One of my favorites in WWE, definitely. Ray. Like Ray, AJ Styles, like Dominic,
Finn Balor, dude.
Finn Balor. Yeah. I think those are probably my favorites. Huh?
Pete Dunne. Is that his
Oh,
name?
Pete Dunne. I like him. Yeah, I like Pete Dunne a lot.
You like Carrion too, didn't you? Or was that
Karrion
versus
Cross. I
Karrion?
like him. Yeah, I do like him. WWE's got some good talent right now, and
Oh yeah.
like I said, I just started watching it again Monday. Actually, we
Good
stopped
show to
watching.
watch.
We stopped watching it because of the McMahon deal.
Oh yeah. That
But
makes sense.
he sold. I found out. I just found out, but he sold his final TKO shares back in April.
Yep.
So when I heard about it, I was like, "All right, he's not making money from it anymore. Let's watch it." Yeah. So
Yeah.
um,
That's- a lot of people are doing that.
but yeah, they got some exciting talent, and I'm not a big fan of Paul Levesque, Triple H's booking, but it is at least different. So that makes it's making it pretty interesting nowadays. I'm interested to see where they're going with everything that's changed.
Yeah. I mean, especially with like the bloodline, they were like, we're in the bottom of the third, and I feel like
My
we're
God,
barely in the bottom of the fourth now. It's like we got two bloodlines. Who knows how many more times the Rock's going to be in there? Like, there's so much more I feel like they can do, and only time will tell.
Cody, I left him off. I love Cody, love him.
Oh yeah, of course.
Let's have like an endless supply of wrestlers who are members of that family. From
Apparently,
out,
Oh
like
my
we just
God.
saw Zilla Fatu wrestle.
Zilla Fatu was very good. I thought he was very good.
Um,
Here we got Barry Windham and Arn Anderson.
Oh
who
yeah.
are they're in some gimmick match, right, for the tag belts. Oh,
Street
there's a
fight.
Nature Boy.
they have green swastikas on their shirt.
They don't have
Okay.
What was that?
So I'm glad you noticed it. So they're not swastikas, but that
Okay.
shirt got removed because it looks very
Because
close,
it-
and it's a very sought after shirt now because
Oh,
of that controversy.
yeah.
Are they horses?
They look
Oh,
Okay,
like
4 horsemen.
they look like chess pieces. Do
Oh,
they
I see.
not? If I'm mistaken, I
oh yeah. The
Oh, yeah, the horses. Yeah, the horses. 4
horse.
horses.
So rook, right? No, as I just call it a horse. Is rook the castle? I got them mixed
That's
up.
a knight.
Knight. Yeah, there we go.
It does. Holy shit. How did that shirt make it out of
I mean,
design?
yeah. You just don't know. You
Sorry. You were like, they're not wearing swastikas, but like it looks like a fucking swastika, dude.
it does.
Oh, I said surely that's not what it
Yeah,
is. I mean, that's not what it is, but wow. Wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Unbelievable. I don't know how you look at that and don't think that.
That's why they X-nayed that thing.
Wow. I've
Immediately.
never seen that shirt before.
I think I saw one on eBay a while back, but it was dry rotted, so not really worth. Yeah.
So here we got Zangief and Hashimikov back out.
Yeah. Better you do it than me.
These guys looked pretty good earlier, I thought. I think they're facing Mysterio. Oh no, they just wrestled.
It's Muda and
Ah, right.
Mr. Saito.
Yeah. In the waning days of WCW, just a random memory.
Yeah.
In the waning days of WCW, I went to, they would do Nitro Live, and then they started doing the Thunder taping immediately after it.
Oh yeah.
I went to one of those, and I got front row seats for like $40, for both. Their attendance problems were terrible, and that was either 2000 or 2001. I don't remember. What?
Darcy the Mail Girl just followed me on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Wow, why?
I don't know.
That's cool.
Yeah. Sorry. She we watch a lot of horror stuff, and she's Joe Bob Briggs.
Yeah.
She's also a super big wrestling fan.
You a big horror movie fan?
Yeah, both of us. Yeah, we love them. Oh, you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I think you commented on the something I put about The Substance and how it was.
Oh,
like,
I did. Yeah. I
Yeah,
remember
you're
that.
like, I don't know, it seems kind of nuts, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah, because
not
you
for
said
everybody.
it's like Requiem for a Dream and this and that and the other. I was like,
that
oh,
and The Fly. Yeah, it's body horror, but
Yeah.
it was wonderful. It was really cool to watch.
I'm gonna check it out. I've heard good things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm trying to think. What's the last good horror movie we saw?
Late Night with the Devil.
Oh, Late Night with
Oh,
the
yeah.
Devil. I love that fucking movie.
That was a great movie.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it. I've seen it like 3 or 4 times, and I keep liking it more every time I've watched it. I love that movie. It's so well done.
If you enjoy terrible horror movies, because sometimes we like to watch bad movies for fun.
I'm in there for that.
We just watched The Killing Tree.
Oh,
like
my
a Christmas
goodness.
horror movie with like a CGI murdering Christmas tree. Oh, it's awful and just wonderful.
Wow.
It's like if you've ever seen Jack Frost, the horror movie.
Yes. Oh, I watched that with my girlfriend. Jack Frost is the most unhinged horror movie I think I've ever seen.
It's one of my favorite movies, like period. Jack Frost. Like I love that movie.
It's the same principle as Jack Frost. Serial killer gets killed and comes back. But like I said, like she said, this guy comes back as a fully decorated Christmas tree with big branch arms.
Oh,
and
no.
it's called The Killing Tree. It's free on Tubi.
Oh, Tubi is amazing.
Yeah.
They've got so much stuff on there. Wow, wait till that'll be like the OG WWE network. They'll get rid of Tubi next. We have it so great, and then they'll just rip it from us.
Yeah, I would recommend The Killing Tree. It's British.
I have to look into that.
It's only 72 minutes long.
Oh my god.
So it was 72 minutes of fun. I enjoyed it.
And just to emphasize again, the CGI is just terrible.
It's bad. Yeah, it's atrocious.
Yeah, what have I seen recently? I saw the newest VHS movie. I'm a big fan of that series, the anthology series.
I need to rewatch those. I like the first 2 a lot.
I don't think I've seen those.
Yeah, they're all done by different, like it's an overarching story, but with 5 different stories in it, like based on videotapes. But each videotape is directed by a different horror director. So now
that's awesome.
they've done like every new movie has a kind of an overarching thing, but each segment is directed by, I mean, there are some new guys and girls, but then there's some like people that have done it a lot. So the latest one was all like sci-fi based, which I thought was a cool angle.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna see it's the 50th anniversary of Black Christmas, and I'm gonna see that in theaters.
We're going to see it too. Yeah.
Oh hell
That's
yeah!
one of her. I mean, I love it, but that's one of her favorite movies. Yeah.
I hadn't seen
Christmas
it.
horror
And
is like my favorite genre of movie.
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah.
I like my personal favorite in that series is 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 2, because first of all, it shows you half of the first movie anyway. You practically you don't need to watch it, and then it's got Garbage Day, which is like the greatest.
Garbage Day.
Oh my god! So I'm a big fan of that too. I think I have all 5 of them on like DVD.
Oh, that's awesome.
We got. I don't think we have 2. I think we have 1, and then we have 3 through 5.
Oh, really?
Yes, I don't think we have 2. We should get it.
Well, you got to get 2. Come on,
Yeah.
your favorite one.
Switch says, "Oh my God, y'all my new fam, wrestling and horror movies." LOL. Yes, stick with us. And sometimes we do horror movie watch-alongs.
We did Santa's Sleigh last year with Bill Goldberg as the Killer Santa.
Yeah. And I think this year, not this month, but maybe in the next couple months, we're gonna do They Live. We're gonna do a watch-along with They Live.
Yeah, good movie.
Join us for it if you want, man.
Great time capsule of the 80s too.
Oh yeah, I love that movie. I love it. Switch says, "What did y'all think of Terrifier?" I absolutely loved it.
Which one? We talking the new one? Because I haven't seen it yet. Don't spoil it.
I won't. But I'm just going with 1. Well, 1 and 2. I mean, super gross, and Art the Clown is scary, and it's original, and I absolutely love them. I just saw the 3rd. I won't say anything about it, but if you haven't seen it, it's Christmas themed. And I absolutely loved it. It had the grossest kills yet in the series, and we got to see a little more of Art's character. I love all 3 of them. I think it's the best new horror series going. Yeah.
I don't think this is a spoiler because he heavily publicized it, but Chris Jericho is also in it.
Well, because he was in the second one.
Oh, see, I don't
remember. I don't remember that. Okay.
He's in it might be a post-credit scene in the second one.
Oh, right. Yeah, I saw the first one, and once was enough, and I was not interested in the second or third.
I was kind of told that you didn't need to see the first one to see the second one, and the second one had all that praise, so I just watched the second one.
Yeah.
I loved just like how it looked, like how it was filmed is it's almost like surreal, and how it's filmed doesn't feel like a movie.
And it feels like a nightmare.
Yeah, and I love that Art the Clown doesn't talk. It is a great, unique avenue to have a horror villain, but he doesn't talk trash. He doesn't make jokes. He just makes funny faces, and that's the best part. I love it.
That actor is so good at it.
He's amazing. He was at Spirit Halloween pranking people.
Saw that.
Which is wonderful. Before I forget, did you guys see In a Violent Nature?
Never heard of
it. It's on Shudder. It's a first person, like you're watching the killer from behind, and it's like it's the most unique thing I've ever seen.
Okay, I will check it out.
So that is like kind of not like I guess they've probably done that before, but it's like the first like one that's been highly publicized or whatnot. But I think I want to say it's Steven Soderbergh, the guy who did Sex, Lies, and Videotape. Yeah, Traffic. I think he's doing another. It's a movie, but it's in the perspective of the ghost or the entity. I think that's coming out either this year or next year.
That's cool. Okay, cool.
So I would check that out. See if we can find out what it's called.
It's nice to see, horror getting taken a little more seriously.
100%.
People like Jordan Peele and stuff around. It's nice.
Oh yeah, every one of his movies slay. Amazing. Mm-hmm. I think Us is the best of the 3.
I agree.
Yeah,
I love Us.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the third?
Nope was the third one.
We didn't
bored the hell out of me.
Yeah.
See, I think Get Out is a great commentary on the time frame. I
I
think
thought it was
Us is
great.
the objectively scariest, and I think Nope is like his like blockbuster movie. I really, really loved how big the movie felt. And there's some scary ass parts in that movie. So
Maybe I need to see it again. I
Yeah.
know I fell
Yeah.
asleep during it, so I think I need to see it again.
In the movie's defense, though, Asa falls asleep during movies somewhat frequently.
That's true.
Like we went to see Beetlejuice in the theater, and he fell asleep like in the opening credits.
No, I was like maybe like 2 minutes.
2 minutes in it. And then we came home and we decided to watch it again since he missed it, and he fell asleep that time also. So
damn.
yeah.
I'm gonna watch it this week, I think.
Again, not a commentary on the movie, just
No.
sometimes he falls asleep during movies.
So the movie from Steven Soderbergh is called Presence, and that's
Okay.
the movie in the.
It's not out.
It's either it says 2024, so it might have either come out already or it's about to come out. But it's in the perspective of the entity. But
cool.
you should check out In a Violent Nature too. That's
I wrote it down. Yep.
I think you'll get a kick out of that.
So this
Always
is
up for trying new horror stuff I hadn't
Yeah.
seen. Yeah.
This isn't a horror movie, but it is a wrestler Christmas movie. Have you seen Santa with Muscles?
Yeah, with Hogan. Yeah.
We
Oh,
watched
yeah.
that this summer for the first time. Oh my
bad.
god,
It's a bad one.
So bad.
It's
awesome.
It's bizarre. It's
Yeah.
very weird to see. And he was filming that, I think, as he was kind of in between Uncensored 96 and Bash at the Beach. So right before he turned heel, he's doing these movies.
Yeah.
And like early on in the NWO, like they cut to him on a Hollywood set, and it's weird because he's still like not fully a bad guy in character. He just can't do it. He's still Hulk Hogan. So yeah, Santa with Muscles is weird. I still want to see. I haven't seen Suburban Commando yet, and that was one of his early movies. I recall. I think Undertaker's in it.
Oh, I don't remember that.
so I
It's
need-
bad, but it's not as
Oh,
bad as Santa with Muscles.
Yeah, are any of them really great? With Hogan in them, probably.
Rocky 3's great.
Well, Rocky 3. That's
Gremlins
not a
2,
wrestling
you're gonna
movie.
go Rocky 3 before.
Oh,
Gremlins
fuck.
2?
Gremlins 2. Yeah, Gremlins 2.
Gremlins 2.
Gremlins.
Oh man. Back to Starrcade real quick. We're in the Texas Lariat match. So this is you got to touch all four corners
Okay.
type deal.
It's like a
And
strap match.
yeah, but it's got the bull rope, but it's really just like a rope.
The thinnest bull rope ever.
I'm kind of frustrated with like how some of these matches go where it's like, well, the momentum got stopped. How do you really determine the momentum before he touches that fourth post?
Yeah.
WWE has like the green and red lights now, which at least it shows you where the progress is. This is kind of, we'll just come with it.
Oh,
on the
really? I
fly.
haven't seen one with that. That's cool. That's
Yeah,
a
it's
good
a
idea.
unique way to do it because this is very confusing unless you're hearing the commentators say it. And to be honest, I feel like they get confused with, well, did he touch that one? And no spoilers for the end of this match, but they definitely get confused. So
Who came in as the U.S. champion? Hanson?
in this match, Hanson is the champion. I believe he won it from Luger at Halloween Havoc earlier
Ah, there you go.
in the year.
Yeah, Stan
And
Hanson.
he is ripping Luger with this rope like to the corners.
And Luger he'd already been world champion at this point, hadn't he?
No,
No.
Not yet.
Okay.
nope. That comes at Great American Bash the following year
Okay.
when Flair leaves.
I don't want to call that a suplex. That was like a side slam.
Like a back suplex, kind of.
Like, just put him right next to her.
I see. Switch says he likes all the Terrifier. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Great new character. And he says they won't play part 3 in some of our theaters here. Wow. Yeah, part 3. If y'all missed it, it came out unrated, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Came out unrated.
Yes.
Yeah, it
Um,
did incredible at the box office. So
Right, it
I was
finished
really
number
happy to
1 a
see
couple-
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it went off.
yeah, unrated or NC-17 or whatever. It used to be a death knell for a movie. But nowadays, I think with streaming and all that, and just people are used to different things than they were maybe in the 90s or the 80s. Yeah.
Well, I think too, like it's so uncommon that like it's got a novelty factor. Plus the fact that there were like warnings posted on the theater doors about
yeah.
like
Yeah.
what to do if you get
Yeah.
sick.
That makes it, you
That's
gotta
very,
see.
Yeah.
that's
Gotta
very The Exorcist of them to have.
Yeah.
You know, it harkens back to when that was a thing too. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe I saw that. It's good promo too. Doesn't
Yeah.
hurt.
That's still to me. It's not my favorite horror movie, but I would still say it's the scariest movie ever made. I still stick with that. She doesn't.
Not even
I
a
can
little
see that
bit.
she doesn't.
Yeah, I didn't see it until like I was an adult. I didn't really get into horror until like the year after high school. But yeah, no, I don't find that movie scary at all. I find it really good. Like I love that movie, but it
Crazy.
does
Yeah.
not scare me
I
irrelevant.
like the third one. I think the best.
Yeah, that's
Exorcist
great.
3.
Oh
Really
yeah.
good. Really good jump scare too.
Do you have the director's cut? Have you seen that one? I
Yeah, I
think
have. I have the box set of them, the anthology, which I think has that cut on it.
Yeah, great movie. If you haven't seen it, Exorcist 3, very good.
Have I seen that?
Yes,
Okay.
we watched. That was like the night you got drunk.
Oh yeah. I thought that was Psycho 3.
No, we watched Psycho 3 later. You
Okay.
were asleep for that one.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
What did we watch? We watched Exorcist 3, something else, and Psycho 3. I don't remember.
I was awake for one of them. That was like years ago, yeah.
That was years ago. That was like 7 years ago. Yeah.
The smartest thing anybody can do against Lex Luger.
But yeah, so this is a Texas Lariat match, which I've never heard that stipulation before or after this.
I think that's just because Stan Hansen's move was the lariat.
Right.
So that's
But
probably the only reason why they jazzed it up with that name. But
the two men connected by a rope, and I suppose that's the deal, right? You pull them towards you and then lariat hit them.
yeah, right.
What background do you have going on here? I can only see the.
Well, you could see it more when it was the
It's,
two of us.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
It's the VHS cover.
Oh,
For
cool.
this. It says Starrcade 1990 Collision Course.
Okay.
And it has Sting and the Black Scorpion on it.
I didn't know it had like a subtitle, so I was like, how does that part of the word Starrcade?
The Starrcades had subtitles for pretty much 83 through like 90. What do you think?
I mean, 91 was Battle Bowl. 92 they called Battle Bowl. 93 was nothing.
Right.
I think 95 was like the World Cup of Wrestling, and that might have been just like it. The other ones were just Starrcade.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like what? Flair for the Gold and
I don't remember. Night of the Skywalkers.
oh, not a Skywalker.
Chi-Town Heat.
Chi-Town Heat. 'Cause I always get that confused with Chi-Town Rumble.
Right. And I don't remember the other two. And now we got
just
Collision.
like $1 million or something. Isn't there a? Well, I'll just look it up. How about that?
There you go.
How about we just do some research? Oh, okay. Flair for the Gold, 83. 84 was the $1 Million Challenge. So I was right there. 85, The Gathering. Then
Right.
Night of the Skywalkers, Chi-Town Heat. And then, True Grit was 88.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
And then 89 was Future Shock.
Right.
And I was going to say this, but okay, so 93 they called 10th anniversary, and then 94 I was going to say it, but it doesn't work because it didn't live up to it, but it was Triple Threat because it was like 3 big main event quote unquote matches, and it was Vader versus Jim Duggan, Sting versus Avalanche, and then the biggest main event of all time, Hulk Hogan versus The Butcher.
Oh, right. That was Stark. I was thinking Halloween Havoc. Yeah. Oh my God. That Hogan versus the Butcher.
It's terrible.
Oh no. No.
It especially sucks considering the main event the previous year was Big Van Vader versus Ric Flair.
And it originally wasn't going to be that. It was going to be Vader and Sid, which would have been, the collision of the Masters of the Powerbomb, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And I would have
Why
loved
don't you
to
tell people
have
the story? Tell them the story if they don't know it.
Isn't the scissors mishap with Arn Anderson? Yeah, and there was just a huge fight. I think they were overseas for that, and someone had to go, and it was not Arn Anderson. So Sid left, and Arn kept in for the duration. Sid ended up coming back to WCW, so all's well that ends well. But I would have loved to have either seen Vader try to powerbomb Sid or Sid try to powerbomb Vader. I don't think it would have worked. I think it would have been like Kevin Nash trying to do that on the Giant. He could do it, but Vader was like the Giant had his weight through 7 feet. Vader was all kind of there, and it was tough to lift him up, I'm sure.
Yeah, and WCW used to film a lot of their TV way ahead of time, months ahead of time. And they had already shot footage with Sid Vicious with the world title belt. And I remember because I was in I believe it was November. Well, now I could be wrong. Anyways, never mind. They'd already shot footage with Sid as world champion. So then they had to go back and reshoot shows and edit Sid out and stuff like that. And show show Flair with the belt instead of Sid because Flair won it from Vader in '93.
You know what's really weird about that incident? Like, and I'm not saying that it didn't happen or anything. Like Arn Anderson, I mean, it's like 40 something times that he says that he was stabbed, but like he doesn't have any scars. But he's just like really shallow stabbings.
Oh, I never thought of that.
He's like half naked all the time, and like I've never noticed like any marks on him.
I think just like of course, I mean, we're just regular people. I feel like getting stabbed is like once is enough, right? So I think that even if it were a tiny cut, maybe they count it. So like, because like if it's a bullet hole, they're all the same. It's gonna like the more you go, like the likelihood is less. But you can get stabbed like 40 times, and it just be a couple. I mean, I say it like it's nothing, but a couple of puncture wounds or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, because that's a good point. Never really saw.
Yeah,
I never
Did
thought
that really happen? Maybe it was a work. Maybe they just hated Sid.
Yeah,
that'd be a really shitty work. Like,
yeah, that was the story. He and Arn and Sid got involving Ric Flair. They got in some argument in the hotel bar, and something happened. And then Arn went up to his room. Allegedly, Sid showed up. At Arn's door with a pair of scissors. And then they both ended up using the scissors on each other a number of times. And the version of the story I always heard was Sid nearly killed Arn Anderson. There's so many puncture wounds, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, maybe we've been misled this whole time.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just a really big fan of vitamin E and cocoa butter and really tended to his wounds well to prevent scarring.
Maybe.
Who knows?
So we just had Luger win the U.S. title there.
Yeah, yep. After all, a little bit of confusion there.
So here we got, speak of the devil, we got Arn Anderson, and isn't it Anderson and who is it?
The man.
And Wyndham.
Yeah, the man who was on my WrestleMania flight.
Or like Tron thing.
The man who's what?
He was on my flight.
There on the screen.
I was saying he was on the flight to my one flight to WrestleMania. Barry Windham was. Yeah. That's all.
I love Arn Anderson.
He's a good one.
Yeah.
They're taking on, who are they fighting? Doom? Right?
Yeah.
Doom.
Yep. This is a street fight. This is probably one of my favorite matches from this show. I just love, outside of the very potentially Nazi sympathetic shirts that they're wearing, I love street fight gear of just like wearing jeans, like that badass. Like they're ready for a fight. It's not supposed to be a normal match.
Right.
And if you saw when they came out, did you see that they had like the banners of Arn on one side and then Flair on the other side?
Yeah, that's why I was thinking Flair was going to be in this match with him because of that banner.
I think initially, but did they mention? I don't have the volume up to where I could really tell. They said something about Flair being like injured or something.
Oh, I can't hear anything. No, I don't know.
Couldn't go, but
I got the subtitles on, but I haven't been paying attention. Been like half watching and half talking to you.
Well, like, yeah, true. And some of there's definitely been some lulls in the show of the Pat O'Connor tournament.
It's been a pretty good show, though, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
I thought so far.
For sure.
That Hansen and Luger match, I'm a big Luger fan. I wasn't very impressed with that.
It's not one of his better matches.
Yeah.
But I think he has better work than the following year when he gets the world title. He gets some good matches with Ron Simmons. So
Nice.
It
Yeah.
also, I felt brief for a title match. You know.
Yeah, it did. It did. I don't like matches like that. The touch all four corners and like strap matches. I've always hated those.
yeah, you never really can tell if they've got the momentum to get to that fourth one. Like
Right.
it's just not conveyed in a way that's easy for the viewer to pay attention to.
Right. Yeah, I've never been a fan of those. No.
You liked the Ricky Starks, Brian Danielson.
Oh, that was good. Yes, yes. I mean, not all. I mean, that's the exception
Yeah.
that proves the rule. Yeah, that one was fun. That's
Mhm.
Starks and Danielson. Was Ricky Steamboat the guest ref? Wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thought
because
so.
he was originally Starks when he agreed to it. A strap match with the Dragon. He thought he was going to be facing Ricky Steamboat, but then Danielson came out.
Steamboat looks like he could still go too. We just saw him the other day. He looked great.
Mhm. Yeah, he was next to.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he looked the same he looked in like 1995.
Yeah, he doesn't age. I think one of the better matches we talked about 2009 earlier. Him when he came back after they did the little the wrestler thing with Mickey Rourke at WrestleMania with Snuka and Jericho and Steamboat was a part of that. Steamboat had that one-on-one with Jericho the following month at Backlash. Wonderful.
Oh wow,
Wonderful
I forgot.
match.
I totally forgot about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like 15 years after his career kind of ended, which in like mid 94 rather.
Yeah. And he was still really good in 94, but I thought he just wanted to spend time with his family.
Yeah.
What he
His
said.
matches he had a couple good matches with Flair that year and his matchup with Steve Austin as well.
Yep. Yeah, Steamboat, one of the best ever.
Mhm.
And he gets left out of the conversation a lot of times now too.
He does for sure. And I don't know
I think
how that
that's
happens.
because so much of his work happened in NWA and WCW, you know.
That's what I like to call revisionist history.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate.
Why does their manager have Q-tips behind his ears?
I don't know. I didn't know.
Teddy Long? That's a good question.
There's like a white guy manager, I thought.
White guy manager.
Maybe it's the medical person. That's some sort of medical thing. He had
Probably
like a
the
towel over
medical
his shoulders,
guy.
wearing like a white polo.
Yeah.
I'd wager that's because I was like gonna say Teddy Long, he's not that tan. I think he is just black.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, what? Yeah. No, Horsemen don't have a manager here. Oh my God.
Yeah, I didn't think I saw someone come up. It must be the medical person.
Yeah.
Because he was checking on one of the horsemen was bleeding, the one that's not Arn.
Oh, Barry. Yeah. Okay.
Barry
I'm a little
Windham.
bit behind you, but I just saw that. I see the Q-tips.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, for those of you, if you're off with us, we're at 1 hour 56:09.
I thought maybe like with boxing because they shove those things up their nose, you know. But the Q-tips are like way smaller than that.
Yeah, Barry Windham, that's who Bray Wyatt was named
Yeah.
after. Windham Rotunda.
I know, which is very confusing to me because I always get him mixed up with IRS now.
We saw him earlier.
Yeah.
I love IRS. It's like one of my favorite characters in wrestling. And Money Incorporated in general, I really love.
Yeah.
He used to sweat so much when he wrestled.
Oh
IRS.
my God, his shirts were just drenched.
Yeah.
And it's like, was the arena hot, but everybody else wasn't sweating like that? It's just because he was wearing suspenders and slacks in the ring.
Yeah.
Have your meeting before you go. Come on. And some of these just unprotected chair shots.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Which, when I was younger, I used to think that's cool, but now it just like horrifies me to see
I know.
people
Even
taking
one.
chair shots to the head. Yeah. I hate doing just because what we know now, about head injuries. I just
There were several of them this weekend or this past weekend, which I found very surprising.
There were several this weekend. Yeah, I don't like them.
You think? I mean, a lot of people say that they're gimmick chairs, but I feel even if it's anything just like blunt hitting you in the head is not. Yeah. I tell you, it's not good. I can't tell you how much damage, but I'll tell you, it's not good for you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you just said, I mean, I feel like a lot of them did not used to be gimmick chairs, but nowadays when we see it, that my understanding is that they are right. They've shaved down everything, so there's like that much of a thin part of chair. Like there's just enough for it to still be there.
It's all about the noise too. The noise is
Yeah.
the part that sells.
Right.
The only time I feel like I saw a match
Oh.
where it was like definitely a gimmick chair was that Swerve Hangman match.
Yeah.
Like where it bent the chair like almost in half, the chair seat.
Right.
But, like, do you think the indie shows are gimmicking their chairs?
I hope so.
It depends on what talent is using them, because they'll
Yeah,
probably be like, "Hey, we're doing this. I ain't taking a real chair shot. Are you out of your mind?"
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. Because like I said, that's easy enough to do.
Just thinking about like the sound it would make trying to gimmick a metal chair, like the grinding sound. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't.
And now the enforcer, Double A, the toughest man of the Horseman on it.
Yeah, the Horseman kind of taking it to Doom here.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Oh.
They were using like the part of the belt buckle that you put in the hole, like they were
Oh,
stabbing
wow.
each other with that.
Yeah.
Like that is.
Oof. And we're talking about Ron Simmons here, but probably better known as Farouk nowadays. But he became about a year and a half after this, he became the first Black World Champion for WCW, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I actually think more people know him as Ron Simmons now, to be honest with you.
Really?
Especially because he's come back when he does APA stuff. He's Ron Simmons, so I feel like,
Really?
at least him doing Damn, he was Ron Simmons. Like,
Oh, okay.
I think Farouk's kind of forgotten,
Okay.
especially definitely the early Farouk with the blue gear and the helmet.
Farouk. Oh yeah, yeah.
Assad.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Farouk Assad. When he was a gladiator gimmick for a very brief amount of time. He looked utterly ridiculous.
He was at WrestleCade also, and
Yeah.
he and Bradshaw did a night out with the APA.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
Which I guess they went to bars with people. I don't know exactly
Oh
what.
my
All
God,
the photos that I saw, it did not look like a bar.
Oh,
It looked like
probably for the best.
unless it was like a hotel bar, maybe.
Yeah. Well, a night out with them
Yeah,
implies a bar, especially if
Yeah.
the
a
gimmick
bar, regardless.
was
yeah.
that they were like functional alcoholic.
Yeah. Well, it might have just the photos I saw might have been like when the group first met to then go places.
Well, somebody just won here. Or did they?
No.
Double
didn't.
double count out.
Yeah.
That was a good match. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was a draw, just a standard draw. But yeah, they just beat the holy hell out of each other in this one. But no finish really needed.
I think my favorite two we've seen so far have been that one, and like you said, the opener, Tom Zink and Bobby Eaton, was a good match.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Yeah.
That was a good
It
one.
doesn't need to have a title on the line. Didn't need to be any story. It was just like two solid in-ring guys.
Yeah,
and it's
they
funny
picked the right opener, I thought.
Right, and this is in '90 when 5-6 years later, WCW was known for having killer opening matches with cruiserweights or whatever, with a great undercard and the main event that always left more to be desired. When the flip side was happening with the WWE with garbage undercards and the greatest main events ever.
Right. Yeah, that was WCW. That was why I liked them more in the '90s. It's like you said, the first 2.5 hours of the show would be killer.
Every time. Every single time.
And they had so much. It's like AEW today where they have so much talent. You can just pick two people and throw them out there, and it's going to be a good match.
Yeah.
And yet we see the Iron Savages.
Don't get me started on the fucking Iron Savages. But yeah, I mean, WCW went out and got all those luchadors. They got Rey Mysterio Jr., Villanos 4 and 5, Juventud Guerrera, Psychosis, Chavo Guerrero Jr., Eddie Guerrero, Conan.
Benoit,
leaving some people
Malenko,
out. Yeah,
Super Callow.
Exactly.
I mean, La Parca.
And yeah, just all those great cruiserweights too, and Kidman.
Oh yeah, oh my God, Kidman was great, and I think he's still doing
That's
some behind the scenes stuff nowadays.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. With WWE, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see the guy to the right of Paulie with the shirt?
The white shirt.
If Paulie backs off, well, it's a black shirt, but he's got white sleeves.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah.
But it's the
oh,
crew
it's your
shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it could have been his. Like that's the
Yeah.
best part. You don't know who's. It's one of the crew guys, and there's only a handful outside. So
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't have any vintage shirts. I used to have a bunch of wrestling shirts and got rid of them. And I regret that.
as you should.
Yeah. I mean, it was like from 93 to like 2001.
Yeah.
So here we got the Steiners taking on Saito and the Great Muta.
Yeah, you could have called United States versus Japan from the beginning, especially with Muta and the Steiners involved. It's like this is clear. They show the promo for Wrestle War just now, 91.
Mm-hmm.
I have only seen a hat, a camouflage hat for that event. I've never seen a shirt for it ever.
Wow.
Ever. Not even like someone had it even years ago and sold it and they just had the image online. I've never even seen it.
Wow.
So
Yep. Okay.
So good luck.
Like I said, I got your list. We will keep an eye out for you, definitely, man.
It's like a treasure hunt. I love it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I mean I'll be on eBay every day just to I just search WCW shirt and newly listed and I'll just check just to see.
Yeah.
And it sounds nuts, but
no, I understand.
People post it and it's gone immediately. Like I could also check the recently purchased and I see that people bought it and it was up and I missed that time frame. And then I see it on one of the other collectors' pages and I'm like, God, gotta be vigilant.
Is there a way on eBay to set alerts?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
I haven't used eBay very much.
Oh, well.
I use it all the time. I have an eBay store.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I've been on there for almost probably 20 years now.
Oh.
It's a good place. Good place.
Yeah, you find a lot of stuff on
like in my head, like eBay's like from like 5 years ago. But yeah, it's been around for forever. I have like no concept of time.
No, she really does not. Yeah. I mean, minutes, months, years, she has no concept of time. They say the smarter you are, the better concept of time you have. What do you think?
I think if
you think dumb?
I think if you have ADHD, it doesn't matter how smart you are. Your concept of time is going to be shit.
And I guess Scott Steiner's the only one changing his gear. Rick has had the same newspaper, black and white, this entire time, but Scott is now in his bright pink trunks, which I want to say he wore. This is really in the weeds. I think he wore those at Super Brawl, the first Super Brawl. Him and Rick versus Luger and Sting. I think it's one of the best tag matches ever. So
I gotta watch that.
When Rick came out, I was like, that guy's dressed like Beetlejuice.
You said Super Bowl 1?
Yeah, it's the following year. Dusty Rhodes is on commentary for that too, but it's not like chaos, hilarious Dusty. It's more just serious. So it's interesting perspective.
You gotta like this Corey being a referee. This disturbs me. Why's that, Paul? Well, he's too honorable of a man. I mean, he's not going to show any favoritism.
And Great Muta was he world champion before this show? Wasn't he?
Muta? Did Muta ever win like the NWA title? I don't think. Are we talking IWGP?
I swore he did. NWA. I swore.
I'm gonna check. I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, check. I really thought
live stat corrections here. His only, let's see. The only things he ever won in Jim Crockett were the World TV title once, tag title with Vampiro way late, and then he won Battle Bowl in '92.
Wow. Okay, I swore. Well, there goes that out of my mind. I really
He-
swore he had it in like 89 or 90, but
He challenged, I think he challenged Barry Windham for it, or I don't know. Super Brawl 3, I think they had a match for the big gold belt.
yeah,
But I don't know. I want to say maybe it was just like held up and then they had a match for it.
maybe that's what I'm thinking about. I think that may be. That's my favorite belt ever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right here it says Muta defeated Masahiro Chono
Yeah.
at it's
Oh,
the January 4th Tokyo Dome show in '93.
Yeah,
And he won
NWA.
he won the IWGP and NWA, which is the only second guy to do it after Tatsumi Fujinami.
There we go. Okay.
So then he lost it to
I
Barry
thought
Windham.
I
That's
was
how
gonna
it
say I
happened.
thought he won the NWA title. Okay.
I was gonna say I've never heard you say an incorrect wrestling fact.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I didn't think he was WCW champion. I thought he was NWA. Okay.
Well, what threw me off when you said it was you mentioned it like was before the show, and I was like, man, I don't know.
That's what was my first
Did
thought.
something
Yeah.
just completely miss me, and I missed this whole time
Yeah.
period of Muta being champ?
And then did he lose it back to Chono?
The NWA, no, he lost it
No?
to Barry Windham
Oh,
at Super
okay.
Brawl,
Okay.
and then because
In
I knew the
90
match happened '93.
93? Because
Yeah,
oh wait, that was not. I was gonna say Rick Rude ended up with it, but that was like 94, was it?
it was late '93. He
Late
won it from
93.
Flair, who won it from Wyndham.
Okay. Yep.
And that was the big gold, which they turned into the WCW International World Championship,
Yeah.
which is convoluted compared to Vader, who had the Ron Simmons design title. That's my
Right.
favorite design. Is that
Really?
3-year? Yeah.
I like it, but it's just like if you look at the two belts side by side.
Well, no one
Yeah.
is gonna ever disparage the big gold belt. Like it's number one, be all end all, no comparison.
Yeah, I like that WCW title too. I like it. It should have been bigger. That's my only.
Yeah, it could have been bigger for sure. I will say that's probably a flaw.
I mean, it's like the same size as the TV title, and that's not
Right.
It's not good, eh?
I think one day when I have like copious amounts of free time, I'm gonna make the WWE belts in my head as I envisioned Danielson having it. Like his belt, his like hemp and wood belt or whatever has
Yeah,
always
yeah.
been my favorite. And then I saw a picture of it the other day. It looks nothing like I remember it looking. Like in my head, it was like there were like seashells on it and all this like turquoise inlays
Like
and stuff.
kelp hanging off of it.
Yeah, basically. I mean, and like it was made out of like burlap, and that's not the reality at all. But it looks
Way
way
off.
cooler in my head.
That was a cool belt.
Yeah, it was a cool belt. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a unique. I like that. Any sort of like Jack Perry having the blacksmith TNT title,
Loved it.
Yeah.
and I was very critical of Jack Perry getting like not a push, but just like more time. I wanted to see more substance out of him, and I've done a 180 on him. He's done a lot of good promo work, character work. It definitely harkens back to like Raven and ECW. So Tony Khan loves doing like homages to that stuff. So I get it, and I think he's done a lot better. So
Yeah,
That's a good comparison, Raven. I never thought about that.
I didn't really care about him at all until I saw the video of him making the belt. And then I just-
Smelting.
Yeah, smelting the belts, like so fucking cool.
That
Like
was cool.
it just took my respect for him to a different level. And then, like, I always hated the TNT belt. It's like so ugly to me. And then when he lost it, they went back to the old belt. I'm like, what are you doing? You have this beautiful belt.
I tell you what I wish they would do, not to get too far off WCW.
Sorry.
You know, Daniel Garcia's in the Continental Classic. I wish they would make this year's Continental Classic for the TNT and Continental, just unify them and call it the Continental, you know?
yeah, but they just are never going to not have a title that represents a network that they're on. Once
think so?
they started it, they're never going to not do it. Like,
You
it's
think-
just smart to. They maybe they'll do a Max title.
That's what I was about to ask, yeah.
Seems like it could be next. But once you create one, I don't think you can. What are you going to stop doing it? Oh, you're gonna
Yeah.
stop making our title? We're TNT. What are you talking about? We put your ass on the air.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
Well, I hope they turn one of the other two into the Max title then, because they definitely don't need another men's single.
I'm sure they'll just turn that one into it.
They should
They better.
make the international. Is it the international? What is it? It's
International.
the international one. They should make that with the Continental and just make that one title. Because those are one and the same outside of international not having a tournament. Like
I agree with that. Yeah.
just make
I
one.
mean, they're not going to unify the
like that.
TNT, so they probably should do
No.
that.
Well, like when they started the tournament and for the Continental in the first place, like it did not sound like it was for a belt that was going to be defended outside of the Continental Classic. And I wish they had just done that. You know, like it's like with the Owen Hart tournament belt where it's like a ceremonial belt, not something you're actually defending.
Mhm.
Sure, but I like that if you're the champion. Like again, it's only happened once, so it's tough to gauge it off that. But like, whoever's champion, you're automatically in the tournament the following year as long as you're champion.
Yeah,
like whoever's champion gets to be in there, and you have all the opportunity in the world to keep it, but you got to really earn it. You know, so I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
Because I don't like tournaments for tournament's sake. I like that if it's just progressively getting there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess like it's just like when Eddie won it, he won it because he like went through all these people to get it. And then for the person who gets it next to like have had it in just one match and they get to take it, that I didn't care for. But
yeah,
it's Okada, I understand, you know. And Eddie was injured anyway, or on his way to being injured.
Yeah. He should be coming back eventually.
Yeah.
Soon, you'd think.
Yeah, because he went out with a hernia. And then when he did like that last like video package, he had a broken foot or something, and so
yeah, I know.
yeah, I don't like maybe it was just like broken all over, so maybe that's why it's taking so long.
Yeah, heal up from everything and
maybe
then
like
come
World's End he might show up, but or maybe at the ballroom because that's going to be in New York.
Oh yeah, that's probably Although isn't it going to be taped? Aren't those going to be taped though? Are they going to want to do that? Oh, you're
right. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I probably want to do it live. I keep thinking maybe Adam Copeland comes back at World's End, though, if they're going to pull someone back.
I think he's going to come back at Fyter Fest because it's taking place in Asheville where he lives.
Oh, I forgot about that. Forget the whole thing.
Yeah, because that's like January 1st.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's close enough. It's the following week.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're gonna go. It depends on what the weather is for that week because we don't want to get stuck in the mountains. But yeah, I'd really like to go see that.
I've been waiting for them to pull the trigger on because of course he got hurt, but I don't know how they didn't automatically do a Christian versus Copeland in like a ladder match at all. Yeah, well,
I was telling Asa the other day. I think that Edge is gonna cost Christian his like attempted cash in, and then we're gonna get that like that feud finish.
Yeah, and it's just just to not have them go in a 1-on-1 ladder match would be derelict of you have these guys and they're available. They're not getting younger.
Yeah,
Christian's probably doing his best stuff. Let's do it. Let's get this thing.
Well, I know that they like wanted to bring them back as like enemies, but like when they had the Hardys, like not doing a Hardys versus
that too.
Copeland and Christian ladder match was surprising.
Nope. Steiner's won the Pat O'Connor Memorial International Tag Team Tournament.
The biggest trophy in the history of professional wrestling.
What have you thought of the show so far, babe?
It's been pretty good.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, pretty good.
I haven't had like a match that I've been like, oh my God, that was awesome, you know, but every match has been like good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, solid.
Yeah.
Nice kick by Muda.
That was a wonderful spinning kick there.
Yeah. Steiners get the win. One of the best tag teams of all time, for sure. I just saw them Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't meet them, but I saw them. Yeah.
Really dangerously. We're going to have the award ceremony with Mr. Jim Hurt of the Steiners in just a few moments. But I know our troops over Saudi Arabia are looking on. First of all, as Jim Ross said back in 1959, Pat O'Connor won the world title right here at the Keel. Members of his family are with us at this time. His widow and their family are over here to my left, standing up.
And this is the Jim Herd era, as Tony just said, the Jim Herd era of WCW.
Yep.
To make the presentation to the Steiners, the executive
Which, if memory serves me right, he's the guy who wanted Ric Flair to cut his hair. Is this right? And become the gladiator gimmick?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
like the worst
What a
idea
fucking
in wrestling
dope.
history.
What a dope. Yeah. Mhm. Where'd he come from? Do you know? I forget what.
Who?
Jim Herd.
Like where he? What do you mean where he came from? Like his
Like-
background or from the set?
No, no, like his background. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna look it
Okay.
up.
No.
Let's see.
From
I-
like
he's
I've
still-
never heard him never heard him in wrestling before this, so I'd feel like
He's
he'd
still
been-
alive, which is crazy.
Wow.
1939 he was born.
Wow. He looks older than that.
Says he was a station manager for the St. Louis TV station, which had the popular wrestling show Wrestling at the Chase, which was like one of the OG like studio wrestling things. Says he served a regional manager at a Pizza Hut,
What
and
I
then
thought was he was a pizza man. Yeah.
EVP of WCW in 1988, but it began on January 3rd, 1989.
So we went straight from pizza to WCW.
Mm-hmm.
That is an
Evidently.
impressive step up a ladder. you
Yeah.
know?
I wonder what happened there. How does it say when he was out?
Let's see. It has it just has feud with Ric Flair. Hurd resigned from WCW January 8th, 1992. So
Look at that sweet phone that
Mm-hmm.
Polly has.
oh yeah.
Paulie and Zach Morris.
Right.
Same phones. So we got there. It doesn't feel like it's time, but this is our main event coming up now.
You say that, but the match actually goes 18 minutes. So I was like, oh, we're at the main event, but yeah, it's a decently long main event here. So so they're gonna call out Dick the Bruiser. I did want to note this too, and I sorry for being morbid this whole show, but it's a show from 40 years ago, so
We're
Things
morbid
are gonna
all the
come up.
time. It's fine.
One of Ace's
Dick-
favorite things is to point out who's dead.
It's not my
Dick the
favorite thing.
Bruiser.
I said one of.
Dick
Sorry,
the
what?
Bruiser unfortunately passed away less than a year after this show. Well, here we go. Here's Popeye. There he is. He looks like Popeye, doesn't he?
Mhm.
And it says here he died of internal bleeding after he was weightlifting and he ruptured a blood vessel in his esophagus.
Oh,
God.
Lord.
So he
No, it
was
does look like
jacked as hell and was like literally dying doing what he loved doing because it looks in great shape, but
Yeah.
it's just crazy. The following November, that's wild.
that. That's sad. Will definitely not be the way I die.
That's a sign we should all avoid exercise.
No weightlifting related accidents for me.
Alex cares how bad he can be. Ladies and gentlemen, this contest.
When did Jim Ross start sporting the cowboy hat?
In the WWF days.
Oh,
I
gosh.
say like 90.
Like not his early one either, probably his second stint, like 96 maybe,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Scorpion making his way to the ring.
Wait, so is this someone that I know that I would be able to guess who it is?
We're not
maybe?
gonna don't say anything.
I'm not saying anything.
No hints, no nothing. I'd almost prefer you to try to just guess who it is.
I gotta see a close up of his face.
Well, there's
Well, I
only
gave her a hint last night, but I think she forgot.
I did forget it. What was the hint you gave
I'm
me?
not going to tell you now.
there's only 40 of them coming to the ring right now, so I
Right.
don't think any of them are actually the guy yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't realize there's like a whole army of them.
Yes. Yep.
I was like, that
Great.
guy's really old.
So the lead up to this, I know at Halloween Havoc they did something like this where, Sting was receiving certain like items, and it's Black Scorpion was like, they said someone from Sting's past. They would do something where like there was a girl like fan, and the Black Scorpion took her from one part of the stage, and they ended up on some other part of the stage, and weird black magic stuff. And
Mhm.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
It was from a long time ago.
without spoiling it, classic WCW, they like loved and had this idea of like, we got to have a heel guy to face Sting.
Mhm.
And they were like, this is a great idea, Black Scorpion. They did not know what the payoff was going to be and who it would actually be. So when we get to that, you'll be like, oh, okay. And I'll go over more about it when we get there. But
Yeah.
they had this great idea on paper, and they still didn't know. Like, how do you create an idea without knowing the end when you created it?
Yeah.
Like you'd think.
I think it was pretty good. I mean, I thought the whole thing was pretty good.
Yeah, it
Really
was
quick,
cool.
what is that thing on screen that they are
Oh,
showing?
what's happening? I have no idea.
Well, I think the Black Scorpion may come out of that thing.
Is it a drone? Is that a UFO?
But
Is that an egg? It's a space egg?
it's like empty and closing. Is he
It's a
gonna
TIE fighter?
End of it somehow.
It's a space egg.
It's gonna be magic.
It's definitely, it has to be. Well, I mean, the lights are throwing me off, so it's probably gimmicked from underneath.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Or from the back, and we like the fan who like they figure screw the fans that are near the stage.
Yeah.
They're not on the broadcast. They can see who's coming, but we're not going
Yeah.
to say anything because I could see something in there.
This is so cool.
It's the gobbledygooker. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, I love it. It's like
This is a
Epcot
month removed
like
from the
80s.
gobbledygooker.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
It
it
was
is.
a month later.
Oh my god. You're talking about shows that you had and watched 50 million times. That for
Yeah.
me, Survivor Series 90
Oh
was,
yeah,
was one of them. Yeah.
Oh, he's got something sparkly.
Do you recognize that voice?
yeah. We'll
It
talk about
sounded
that.
like, oh, I know who it is. Wait, maybe. I don't want to guess and be wrong. Is it the Shockmaster?
Well,
Yes,
same person did the voice.
Ollie.
Same
it is
voice.
the
Ollie
Shockmaster.
Anderson.
Ole.
Ollie. Oh, it's so close.
That is so. I love that you were like, "Oh, it's the Shockmaster," because it's another
Yeah.
terrible voice, and it was Ole.
Yeah.
Sid. Like it was so terrible.
And when he's
But yeah,
laughing,
The man that rules the world.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But he got his work started here 3 years earlier on another failed WCW production.
That's awesome.
So there we go. There's some Starrcade facts.
I know, like I said, I thought the Black Scorpion thing was pretty good. I
I
might
agree.
seem a little hokey nowadays, but I
Well,
thought it was
sure,
good.
but come
Yeah.
on. I like that. I like you got wrestling's supposed to be a buffet. You're supposed to have stuff for everybody.
Right.
And I think this kind of tapped into that kid like mystical Halloween. They had some stuff. And that Halloween Havoc where this kind of started ended with Sting versus Sid, and they were battling to the back, and then Sting came back out and got pinned by Sid, and it was Barry Windham and Sting face paint and trunks.
Yeah.
And they just like had to redo the finish. And so they love doing weird, unique stuff. You mentioned Halloween Havoc being one of your favorite shows. I know Eric Bischoff mentioned that even though everybody says Starrcade's the WrestleMania of WCW,
Right.
he considered Halloween Havoc as like that big event, as like that tent pole event, especially
Which is
in the
my
later
favorite thing
years.
I've ever heard Eric Bischoff say. That's for sure.
Right. Especially whenever they would have it at in Vegas for all those years in a row. Like that's a pretty big deal to be in. It's a residency, So that was a pretty cool tentpole event. Same with Bash at the Beach. I think that lent itself to a lot of huge moments. So
Yeah.
Every other show other than Starrcade. Starrcade was served for tournaments, Battle Bowl, and the Butcher.
That was one of the lamest main events ever on a pay-per-view.
The reveal was great. at Halloween Havoc.
Yeah.
I like that because
Oh,
why
yeah.
would I think Brutus Beefcake is going to be the guy to
Yeah.
hurt him?
And
But
Halloween Havoc 94, that Hogan Flair main event is awesome.
in a cage.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's a retirement match too.
Oh yeah. Well,
Well,
until Flair came out dressed in drag at Uncensored 95, which
right.
is one of the most unbelievable. I love that match so much.
Yeah. I love that period of WCW. Like, I like all of it, but 94,
Yeah.
95, when Hogan showed up, and they're trying some different things out and getting bigger. I really enjoyed it. And then we saw guys like Avalanche, Earthquake, Jim Duggan come in, and we got some matchups we hadn't seen, and Nasty Boys came in.
They came back. Yeah. Because the month before we said like Halloween Havoc 90, Nasty Boys have a killer match with the Steiners. So I think they're in the WWE at this point now, even a couple months after this.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Are you noticing anything about the guy and how he's wrestling? Have you picked up on anything? Can you tell who it is yet?
Oh, that's not Ole Anderson. She was just the voice.
Right.
Oh,
No, that's the voice.
Gave up. No. It's the same with the Shockmaster. He's just a voice.
Well, I was gonna say I don't think I've ever seen him like physically, so I didn't expect him to be so tall, but that's because that's not.
He's a bigger guy.
Billy Gunn?
Billy Gunn?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I'm not gonna tell. What made you think it's Billy Gunn?
His like leathery neck skin. Honestly.
All right.
Billy Gunn was pretty young though at this point.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about like how long ago this was.
He's tall too. Billy Gunn's like 6'6" or something like that.
Oh
yeah, he's jacked. He's a big dude.
Yeah. Also, you can see a little bit of like bleached blonde hair coming out the back that's short, and that was the other thing that was making me think that. But he had long hair, didn't he?
At this point, well, I don't know. I don't know what he did in 1990, but I didn't see him until like 93 WWF, and he had blonde hair. He had long blonde hair. Billy Gunn. It was like dirty blonde.
What's difficult is I have no historical perspective to know who someone from Sting's past was that he tagged with. Like those clues, I have no idea. I also don't know who's in WCW at this point to choose from.
The clues were not really that great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, someone from his
vague.
past. That's accurate.
But it's so vague.
This person is?
Yes.
Well, yes, definitely. Definitely.
But I know he's like related, like connected to Sting in some way.
Yeah. So for those of you, we're in the main event now. We are at 2 hours, 30 minutes, 47 seconds. Sting defending the world title against the mysterious Black Scorpion inside of a cage. And that is Dick the Bruiser / Popeye the Sailor Man as your guest ref.
The pants he's wearing are so baggy.
Yeah.
Dick the Bruiser.
Maybe he's an MC Hammer fan.
That's around that time.
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
No, I don't even have a good guess.
Good. See, it's working. It's working on someone that has not seen it. That's good. WCW was on to something.
No. Yeah, for those of you, if you know who the Black Scorpion is, Kay does not, so please don't say it in the chat.
So when you watched this when it was happening, did you already know who it was before they unmasked him?
I did not watch this when it was happening.
Oh, okay.
When I first watched it, I didn't know.
Okay.
And I told Asa the story of like I only had so many like VHS tapes to watch growing up.
Yeah.
And my grandma had like a tape that I have it. It just said house on it. So I thought it was a home movie. And I put it in and it was Starrcade 90, where it was like so random. Awesome. And I watched it so many times, but the first time I watched it, there's a good look at his face. The first time I watched it, I didn't know who it was. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, all right. And it was just a bizarre thing to picture. Because now, I mean, I watched all these different shows and know the histories of it. Mm-hmm. So I get why they did it and what, we'll talk about it. But
yeah,
at the time, it was interesting.
Speaking of taping things at home, we talked earlier, if people have just joined us recently, we said earlier, WWE Network, people don't seem to know if it's staying or going or what they're going to keep or what not. And if the WCW stuff is going away, which is my biggest concern, and the NWA stuff, Jim Crockett Promotions, and I was telling Juice, the first, I'm going to put my phone and just turn around and film stuff on my phone. That's the easiest way nowadays.
No, it's not.
What?
Play it on a computer and use a screen capture and film your computer. Like your computer can record what's playing on it. As you do it for school all the time.
If I use my phone, it'll be in 4K though.
That is true.
What I was saying though, the first, whatever I can figure out, the first stuff I'm gonna tape is Halloween Havoc.
There you go.
Yeah.
You already have the DVDs though, don't you?
Yeah, but those are like VHS quality.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I got a bootleg DVD Halloween Havoc set.
That's what you got to do, though. You got to find those people that somehow have them.
I need to find, and then I need to find some of those people who have like all the Nitros and all the Thunders.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's some people on eBay that do like
Oh, yeah, I
Blu-ray WCW stuff. Yeah.
That's what you need to get. That'll be probably the best quality you'll get. Even if you filmed it in 4K, it was never filmed in 4K, so it's
Right,
you can only
right.
upscale to at least HD. So
Right. Oh yeah.
but still, I mean, I'll take Blu-ray. I would take VHS quality as long as I had it, to be honest with you, because that's what I grew up on. So whatever.
Actually, the Halloween Havocs I have are worse than VHS quality.
Yeah, like recording of a recording.
Yes. Yeah.
Love that.
But they're there. I got them. So.
Hey, yeah. Well, like I said, the music issues, the dubbing, the non-licensing, like sucks. It's just.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
I love that the camera guy is just chilling on the top of the cage there filming. He's sitting on top.
Ah, there he is. Yep. Dick the Bruiser not really doing much here, is he, as the ref?
No, I mean there's not much to do, but
it's a cage match. Why are we not?
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know. I mean, and they did it probably because I think he was like a legend in this area of the country.
Gets down to the mat in like slow motion to start the count.
But he's an older
With
guy.
Sidebar, I don't know if you've ever noticed Nick Patrick and his cadence in some of the WCW. Like, it's so awful and slow, and it takes forever. And I wonder how. I don't know. I see other referees, and everybody can just do a normal like 1, 2, and it's Nick Patrick's like 1, 2.
Well, he moves his
like
arm.
Writing a book in there.
He moves his arm uniquely too.
Yeah, he just 3. Like I don't know. It's always bothered me. Like, why? Be a little faster.
I tell you, I thought was a really good ref for WCW was I don't think this was his kayfabe name, but Brian Hildebrand.
Oh, Brian Hildebrand. Yeah, he was good. I like Randy Anderson, Pee Wee Anderson.
I like Randy Anderson too. Yeah.
All those guys. I like the guys that were a little like tinier, and they would like hop over the pin to get in position for it. Yeah. But it never
Randy
felt
Anderson's
like
very good. Yeah.
It never felt like they were like putting themselves over. It just felt like they were getting in position, like what you would do authentically.
Unlike like Earl Hebner.
Yeah, Earl Hebner seems like
the worst about that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's like no one came to see the fucking ref. No one has ever paid
to
see the ref.
He just happened to be involved in the most like talked about moment in wrestling history, so now you're famous for that.
Yeah,
that's pretty much.
But I mean, even before that, remember he would like push guys.
And I think I feel like I've seen Rick Knox do that. Like one of the AEW guys, I definitely saw like got some physicality in, and then I'm like, isn't that can't you are you gonna DQ yourself? Like, what's happening? I don't know how that works.
Rick Knox is how you know there's gonna be like a bunch of shenanigans in the match.
Oh yeah. What are your thoughts on like if the guy is using the rope as leverage and the referee kicks their leg off the rope? Isn't that kind of helping the other guy, or is it just preventing cheating? How do you view that?
I think it's just preventing cheating. Like he
Fair.
gets what he deserves. You get kicked off. You got what you deserve.
I like Bryce Remsburg. He's my favorite AEW ref.
Yeah, he's good. Mhm.
But the scorpion also hurt.
I like what's her name?
Aubrey.
Aubrey?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
Aubrey's
her.
good. I think they're all pretty good.
The champion is down and he is hurt. On top.
Tide has turned. We got the Black Scorpion one. Yeah, the Black Scorpion taking control now, choking out the Stinger.
Is it someone that I'm gonna be like mad at myself for not realizing who it was?
Probably.
No.
Maybe. Trust me, whenever it's revealed, and then I'm just not gonna. I don't want to give anything else away. But you'll be like, oh, okay.
Well, I was trying
I've seen him do two things that really gave it away. I
see, I've
won't say what they are.
been looking more at him physically to try and figure it out than like move wise.
Well, you know, he's white.
Yeah. And his teeth are not Ric Flair's teeth.
And you said something about his hair.
Yeah, it's blonde.
Blonde.
Is that Ric Flair? Am I wrong about the teeth?
Why don't you wait until we see?
What do you mean about the teeth? I don't know how you saw the teeth for longer. How did you see that?
He was grimacing.
Yeah, he was.
What kind of quality do you have? You can see the teeth.
No, at one point they had a
like as a close up of his face.
Super
with him,
close
like,
up?
Yeah, gritting his teeth.
Okay. That's more ID than I did. Good Lord. Good to see that.
she's very observant.
Oh, yeah.
What if we didn't
The
So wait.
true wrestling observer.
They're not Ric Flair's teeth. What do you mean?
Yeah, what does Ric Flair's teeth look like?
Like Ric Flair's front teeth like slightly overlap each other at the bottom, don't they?
Yeah, I believe so.
His teeth didn't look like they did that.
Okay, so
Unless
you're
they
ruling
moved
him out.
like as he aged, and that's what I'm thinking. Is it Ric Flair? And I'm eliminating the correct answer.
Who else do you have any other guesses at the moment? And
Well,
there's less than 10 minutes to
I don't
go.
think in WCW besides like the people we've seen.
Well, like I said, you know who it is. You know the person.
You will when they reveal it. You'll absolutely know who it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got I think like 10 minutes or so left.
Yeah.
Stinger got the tide turned against him here.
Is he normally a singles wrestler?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, but he does it all.
Not always. Yeah, but yes, normally. I'm not giving you any more hints. You can take it from there.
Okay.
Watch your black scorpion now. And right in front of us is the scorpion. It's both feet and the face of the champion. He's got his
Yeah, been a pretty good show so far. Hope you viewers have enjoyed it as much as we've been doing it so far. It's always nice to have Juice here. Nice to always get new perspectives on things.
Yeah, totally.
Nice to have somebody who enjoys WCW as much as I do be here.
Oh yeah, it's been wonderful.
Yeah, and who definitely knows more about this era than I do. That's for sure.
Well, that's all I know.
No, I'm sure not. Hey baby. Hey baby. Hey baby.
Nice pile driver.
Been a good match. Been a very deliberately paced match, but I've enjoyed it. Crowd doesn't seem super into it.
I think the crowd wants to know who it is.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
If Sting wins, then you'll get to see who it is. So
yeah. Yeah, no, I think you're right about that because they were pretty hot for the Sting and Black Scorpion stuff at Halloween Havoc 90.
Oh yeah, I think leading up to this, and I think they probably did something on the Clash of the Champions. They definitely were all in on it. Like I said, for the fans, I'm sure the fans ate that up. I mean, looking back on it, I'm sure it is hokey, but
it's fun.
A lot of stuff in the 90s hokey. Like, what are we talking about here? You know,
I like it. I wish they did more stuff like that nowadays, like mystery, stuff like this, like a mystery guy.
Surprises in wrestling are the best thing, and it's tougher to do with the internet. Like any surprise in the Royal Rumble is great. It's like, oh my God, like it's one little surprise. I hate when they're like, well, John Cena's going to be coming out next week. Like, he hasn't been here for 5 months. Couldn't he have just shown up and it'd have been a better moment? Does that matter to them?
They're like so concerned with popping a rating, and hopefully now that they're going to Netflix and AEW is going to Max, hopefully that won't be as big a thing.
I would hope. I'm kind of over the discourse. Great. Like,
oh yeah, oh my
this
god,
show got good ratings and this show didn't. Okay, but they still got deals that last for 5 years.
Well,
So the ratings
WWE
really,
is 10.
Well, yeah, I'm saying it. Like, the deals are so locked in.
Oh, I get what you meant. I got
week
you.
to week is not gonna affect these locked in deals.
Yeah, no.
And it's also not the Monday Night Wars.
People are interested, but see, I mean, that's not to get into all about the ratings. I just want to say one thing. The audience is so like, it's like, it's still cable ratings. Like, we watch it on YouTube TV. What?
It's Ric Flair.
Why do you say that?
Because it just flare flops.
That's Ric Flair.
I realized as I was thinking about his teeth too, it's his bottom teeth that overlap, not his top teeth.
Okay, so I really wanted the teeth thing blew me out of the water. I don't know how you just picked up on that. Because I was like trying to scramble to find something else to talk about. But when you brought up Jim Herd and the Spartacus hair, I was gonna say, well, in the main event, you'll see that short ass hair because it's Ric Flair.
True. That's true.
But I couldn't say that until we got to the end. So
yeah.
they didn't know who to pick. They didn't have a good idea. I think at one time it was going to be Al Perez. So I can't recall, but they were like, "Oh, give it to Ric Flair." Like, okay, and they just did it. And he reveals another mask. And you'll see it's really not that great of a reveal. They kind of hush and rip it off, and he's kind of crawling out of the ring, and then the announcers just have to shoehorn in, "Oh, it's Ric Flair! It's Ric Flair!" And then it's over.
What I was also looking for was that bump on his back, from his broken back. But you can't see with that shirt on. Thought maybe you'd be able to see like the lump underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So the flare flop is what gave it away?
Well, the flare flop, and then also I was thinking of like,
it was the teeth.
Who was a blonde wrestler that would be a heel?
Yeah.
That would do something like underhanded like this to such a good guy, and like Flair, dirtiest player in the game, seemed like it would be him,
Good job.
And see, that makes sense, and that would have made more sense had WCW came up with, well, let's just make it Ric Flair this whole time. Instead, they just threw it in. But you gave all these great points of why Ric Flair makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It was like Ric Flair's hobby was fucking with Sting.
Yeah.
His favorite
Kicked
thing.
him out of the Horseman a couple times.
I think the Scorpion has been lacerated.
One of the best feuds ever. Sting and Ric Flair.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of great matches between the two. I would not say this is one of them. But
no, I've liked it, but no, not their best, no.
Well, because it's not, Ric Flair can't be Ric Flair in this match, so it's not the same.
Mm-hmm. Well, he took a back suplex the way Flair does.
Yeah.
He did the jumping with landing your butt on their leg on the ropes the way Flair does.
Oh, for sure. Oh, crossbody.
Those are the two things that I saw, and then the Flair flop, like she said. Definitely was a giveaway because nobody did that back then, and a lot of people have stolen that since then.
What would have been good is if he used a variety of moves from other wrestlers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Stinger wins, keeps the world title.
And now Dick the Bruiser getting getting his shit in. Let me do some spots. Let me look strong. Meanwhile, Sting's ripping everybody's mask off.
Now we got 4 Black Scorpions in there. Who's that?
They're all. I don't think they got to be local guys.
Yeah.
Dick the Bruiser's ripping a guy's mask off.
Yeah.
The real one's trying to dip. I don't think it's going to happen. He's going to climb out on top of the commentary team. Dick the Bruiser with a punch to Barry Windham. Never thought I'd see that. And then Arn Anderson clatters him with a chair.
Yeah.
Ric Flair really struggling with climbing that fence.
Look at these jabronis holding up Dick the Bruiser. Oh my God.
Nice.
Top of his head on that, the lower part of that chair. It looked good. I hope it didn't feel awful, but
Arn Anderson, one of the best DDTs ever.
If not number one, yeah.
Either he or Jake the Snake.
Wait, did he just say there's 2 minutes left in the match? I thought the match was over.
No, probably in the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why they rush who it is. We still don't know who it is.
Yeah.
You know? And the fact that the Horsemen are beating him up and Ric Flair was absent in the match he was supposed to be in.
Right.
Like, all the clues are there. Oh, now the baby faces are getting rebuffed. Nope.
There's Tom Zink and somebody.
Z-Man's out there. Either Richard Morton or Tommy Rich. One of those guys are out there.
Yeah.
Maybe Terry Taylor's out there.
Oh, they're both of them. Tommy Rich and Ricky Morton.
Wearing that all black, like very tight outfit, Ric Flair looks much slighter than I imagined him at this time.
Mm-hmm.
And from the trophy closet, they got the bolt cutters.
There we go.
And they can't get it. Barry Windham has to help them. Guys, cut it. Come on.
God.
Pay-per-view's going off the air.
There we go.
There it is. It's so shoehorned in.
He's fighting it. I love
it. Did I never get a shot of his face?
Oh, here he is.
No, not really. He just kind of powders out. That's what made it so weird.
Like it. I like it. At least he's trying to hide himself. He's like, yeah, I like that.
Well, he's also probably like, please, you try to get me Spartacus. Nothing's working. I hate this guy. Now I'm the Black Scorpion. Can this thing be over already? We can get the shirt for $19. Send check or money order to merchandise director WCW PO Box 105.
Have you tried getting shirts that way?
No, and I'm watching a feed that's not Peacock, so it's giving me all the real phone numbers and stuff, which is pretty cool. But
happy holidays from World Championship Wrestling! Yay! Pretty good. Well, everybody, thank you for joining us. We're not going quite yet. But yeah, thanks to Juice Springsteen for joining us. It was very fun, man.
Yeah, nice meeting you for sure.
Nice meeting you guys too. Fun time.
So now we always do best match, worst match, rating out of 5, bones. We rate things in
can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay.
My phone died.
His phone just died.
Right at the end.
Oh, no.
There you go.
Okay. Anyways, so what I was saying, we always, let me take that one away.
You can't because you're...
No, I can't because I said...
Yeah, you're just going to twice.
All right. Best match, worst match, rating out of 5 bones. You're welcome to do the bone system. You can do stars. You can do whatever you want. Let's go with Kay first, though. Kay, what do you say?
First of all, plug your phone in because you have to end the stream when the show is over on your phone. So, sorry. We have an interesting setup. Oh, you disappeared. That's good. So, best match. I might go with this one. I enjoyed it because of the mystery. I like trying to solve puzzles, and this was a fun puzzle mixed with wrestling. So I'm gonna go with the main event. Worst match. What was that match that you missed completely because you left the room? It was like 30 seconds long.
You're talking about the skyscrapers?
Yeah, I'm going with that one. Rating overall, I think it's 3.5 bones out of 5. I've watched a lot of WCW pay-per-views at this point, and I feel like this was subpar comparatively. I like the tournament, but I feel like it lacked that like wow factor of like longer big star matches that you get normally with with WCW pay-per-views. So that's my 2 cents.
All right. I'll go, and then we'll let our guests finish out. Best match for me, definitely the opener, Tom Zink and whoever the fuck he fought. Who was it? Bobby Eaton? Tom Zink and Bobby Eaton. That
so
match
memorable.
was very good. Very good. Worst match, yeah, same. Skyscrapers versus whomever. Just 30 seconds. Otherwise, I thought every match was good, not great. Every other match, I thought. I enjoyed the show immensely. I mean, it's WCW. It was some WCW I didn't really know very well either. Yeah, so overall, I'm gonna give it 4 bones out of 5. Pretty good wrestling, even though so like the Russian guys, the South African guys, several of these teams in the tournament I didn't really know. But like I said, it was all serviceable to pretty good wrestling. I like the cage match was my favorite, and was my second favorite, and then the Eaton Tom Zink, those really stood out. So yeah, 4 bones out of 5 from me. So Juice, what do you have to say?
Well, first, appreciate you guys having me on. This was wonderful.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Hopefully we can do it again.
We gotta do it again. Yeah,
Absolutely, definitely. I would say my favorite match would have to be the Bobby Eaton Tom Zink match. Like I've said, I've seen the show so many times, so when the first match is the first one you see, it sticks with you. I also would like to give an honorable mention to the Doom 4 Horsemen, Arn Anderson, Barry Windham street fight.
That one's good. I didn't mention that. Yeah.
So that was a wonderful match. I'm going to agree with you guys. The Skyscrapers versus the Motor City Madman and the Big Cat was the least favorite, I would say. It was only a minute long and wasn't really much substance there. You guys do the bone system. Dave Meltzer does the star system. We here at the Juice Box do the straw system. So Starrcade 90 will be getting 4 out of 5 straws. Very nostalgic for me. I love this show. I love rewatching it. And I don't know. It still hits. After all these years, I really enjoyed watching it back again. So again, appreciate you guys giving me the platform.
Yeah.
Thank you. Maybe next time, maybe we'll do like the WCW show I remember the most. Maybe.
Yeah, sure.
That'd be neat. That'd be fun. But we'll do something. That was definitely fun, and you had a lot of knowledge. I learned things, and I'm sure our viewers and no listeners for this. I'm sure our viewers learned things as well. So yeah, thank you for coming. It was great.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
It's nice having somebody to talk WCW with.
Do you have anything you want to plug?
Yeah.
Just the Juice Box podcast. You can see it every Friday or listen to it every Friday. Sometimes we have video, but at Juicy Steen on Twitter. And I just talk the week that was, and sometimes I've got guests on, or I like to interview some people too. So wide variety, and appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, thanks.
And I'm not going to go through the whole week, but I'll just tell you the next couple of days what we're doing. Tomorrow night, Friday, 7:55, Wolf and I are doing a SmackDown watch along. Saturday, it's Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, so we're taking the day off here at No Bones. And then Sunday, Wolf and I are bringing back WWE Weekly. That's going to be Sunday, 7:30. We're going to have top 5 rankings, for men, for women, for teams. We're going to talk about the TV from the past week, and then we have some other things. We're making it a different show from AEW Weekly, so it won't be the exact same segments. But that's what we got coming up, and join us for those. They'll be on YouTube. They'll be on X. They'll be on Wolf's Twitch, and everything I just said I'm going to publicize on X. That's at No Bones Wrestling, RASSLIN. And you should like this video and share it with people. Tell them we do these fun watch-alongs, and subscribe so you get everything we do. And we'll definitely have Juice back. That was fun. Sure. Yeah, if he'll have us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd love to come back in.
But that's it, everybody, and thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as we did. And bye. Oh wait, do I have to end it?
You have to end it.
Oh. Well,
This will take a minute. Sorry.
it's not by quite yet. Okay.
So since it's not by quite yet, I'll tell you what else we have coming up. Monday, Wolf and Asa are going to do a watch along for WWE Raw. Tuesday at 7 p.m., we're going to do our weekly show, AW Weekly, which last week was Wolf and Asa, but this week we'll go back to being Asa and I. Oh,
Sorry. And then, well, now we are going through the whole week. Wednesday, of course, we're doing a Dynamite watch along. And then, oh, is it my mic now?
yeah, you need to use your mic.
Sorry, y'all. Wednesday, we're doing a Dynamite watch along. And then next Thursday, we're going to do another WCW watch along. I'm trying to fit them in before WCW stuff maybe goes away on the network. So maybe we'll talk to Juice. Maybe you can come back next Thursday and
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
just
see what
watch
I can do.
WCW. Yeah.
Awesome.
See what my schedule looks like. I'll let you guys know.
Cool. But now that's it, everybody. So, thanks for joining us very much.